is peace. Chains shall we break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy engraved from colors raise we. On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the 50th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 50th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 50th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings. My true love sent to me 5 golden rings, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
XboxEra is only made possible by the support of an amazing community, and in particular our legendary and growing army of Patreon supporters, our executive producers, Top, the Scarecrow 121, Peter B, Not Jack, Mohammed Sherez, Kevin S, Korkenstein, Jordan White, Jordan Andow, Frankie C, Terran H, and Britt. Our amazingly generous grand benefactors who take their support and dedication to XboxEra to another level. Krat56, an assassin. And then there's our boss, our leader, our shining light in times of darkness, the one and only XboxEra's CEO, Torn Raptor. You guys are all fucking awesome. If you enjoy the content XboxEra produce and want more of it, and you're not a patron, consider heading over to patreon.com/XboxEra, pledge your support, and get cool swag in return.
Merry Grubsmas, everyone, and welcome to episode 243 of the XboxEra podcast. We're obviously here to discuss the latest in gaming news across the industry, but we're focused on your favorite platform, Xbox. Now, of course, my entire community hates me at the moment, and I've alienated myself from them completely. But despite that, I do love them dearly. And of course, this is all made possible by them and our wonderful patrons. Big shout outs to executive producers and especially our grand benefactors, Krat56 and Assassin, and our wonderful CEO who hates me the most, Torn Raptor. Now, of course, it's Grubsmas, which means I'm joined by the wonderful Jeff Grubb. Jeff, how are you, mate?
Celebrate me this Grubsmas, everybody.
Yes,
welcome.
This is your day.
It's my day, and I will not have it sullied with other people on this podcast.
Yes, thank you.
Of course not. No, I'm happy to be here, man. Thanks for having me as always.
No worries. And Jesse is here, everyone. He's behind the scenes today. So this is like him taking a break, kind of.
He's behind what looks like Marvel Rivals, is what he's behind.
Yeah, I just put up a bunch of my gameplay footage to have something down there since I'm not allowed to be. It is really good. They're shameless, as I said in the review many times.
Who gives a shit? Yeah.
But yeah, they don't care, and it's really fun.
Yeah,
they took the fun shit and just made it even more fun.
We're all gonna die one day. Who cares about shameless
I don't care
video
about
games?
stealing from a company like Blizzard myself.
Yeah. Yeah, so as I alluded to in the intro there, I pissed off my entire community because I forced John off the show this week.
But now he is sick as a dog.
Everyone.
He has the flu and is completely out of it.
There you go.
Oh, that
I did
worked
that
out
too.
great. But
It's all is possible through Grubsmas.
yes, that's right. So I kept trying to explain to them, Jeff, that the reason I keep it to just you and I on Grubsmas is out of respect to you.
That's right.
And what you did for me 5 years ago.
Really? It's
4
been
years ago.
5 years? That's actually kind of upsetting.
No, four.
No.
It was
Okay,
2020.
all right.
It's not
2020 was the
technically.
first time.
It's 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. It's been 5
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, I
5
guess so.
shows.
This will be the 5th year. Yeah.
This is the
Yes,
fifth
this is
annual.
the 5th Grubbsmas. Amazing. What a tradition. It's the best. It's so
Skedaddle, was I sick last Grubsmas? That
You
sounds
were.
right.
I
usually
joked
do
with
get
Nick.
sick around
were.
the holidays.
Yeah.
I got sick this holiday too, but it wasn't nearly as bad. Although
It was
everyone
earlier
else
in
in
the
my
week.
family pretty much did get much more sick than I did. We had norovirus this year. That was a fun one.
What virus?
Norovirus. It's the one that people usually get on cruise ships when they're traveling, and then they like poop and they puke nonstop for like a full 24 hours. Yeah, we all
Oh
had
my
that.
god.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And of course the chat's here. Hello everyone in the chat. Thanks for all of you jumping in. How many have we got? We've already got just over 100. That's pretty good. One thing we heard last week, before we talk about games we've been playing, you had a train derail on you last week.
Yeah, I actually haven't talked about this on anything yet because we've been off. It's the Christmas train. So let's like set like what this is. It is an
Yeah.
entertainment thing. It's not like actual
It's not the
traveling
Polar
from point A
Express.
to point B. It's not Amtrak. It is like a little. I want to say private. I don't think it's private because I think the state runs it in a state park. But it is like, hey, we're gonna take the kids to the North Pole. Santa's gonna get on the train. You're gonna get a picture with Santa. We do it every year. We used to do it in Colorado. They had one out there. We found one out here that does it. So it's nice. And you basically they just take you through the woods. You get on the other side of the woods, and then they have a little part of their town set up to look like the North Pole, and there's a bunch of volunteers outside that are dressed up like elves, and they wave and everything like that. And it's great. And as soon as we are pulling into that part of the ride, it starts to like be way bumpier than I've ever felt a train be before. And so I'm like, my instinct is like, okay, I don't want to freak anyone out, but I am going to go into this could go wrong mode. And I'm like looking around, and I can feel it start to like just tilt a little bit to the side, like just like 2 degrees. I'm like, okay, I'm grabbing the little one right here. I see my wife grab the other one. Then it really does start to like tilt about 7 to 10 degrees. And I'm like, okay, well, here we go. And our table's not like nailed down or anything like that. So the table starts to slide. And I'm like, okay, this thing could actually tip over. I think we've derailed. And if that happens, everything's going to just go fly to that side of the train, the opposite side that we're on. So I'm going to make sure the kid stays on top of me. And I'm like thinking all this in like the 10 seconds that it's happening. And then it just kind of slowly bumps to a stop. And we could look out the window and see that the last car of the train was still half on the track, and everything else sort of kind of jackknifed in the slow stop that it came to. But nothing like tipped over. Everything was mostly like no one got hurt. There was like 600 people on the train. No one got hurt.
Oh my god!
This was the last one that they were doing for the season, and it had never happened before in like the 10 years that they've been doing this thing. So we just happened to be on the one that derailed, and they were like, okay, we're gonna figure this out. We don't know what to do because it's not like they were going to be able to get this thing back on the tracks. That was not an option. So they're like, okay, you can either wait on the train or get out, and there's like a little town right there, and try to get an Uber. And I'm like, we are getting there's no way. I have no faith that this is going to get solved quickly. So we got off. There was a little bar there. We went in there. A Winking Lizard, for people who are from around this area, they'll be aware of it. It's like a little chain. We went in there. My family got some food. I got an Uber 30 minutes back to go get the van. Came back, picked them up. The bar let them stay inside even after they were closed. And we got home. And by the time we got home, we were kind of like checking the Facebook post or Facebook group for this train. And a lot of people were still talking about how they were stuck on the train till like 1:30, 2 a.m. And we were at home in bed, so it worked out fine for us for the most part. But it was pretty wild. I mean, it was never felt like super dangerous, but it could have gone a lot worse than it did.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
My god, because all we heard last week while we were doing the podcast was, Jeff Grubb's on a train that's derailed, and my heart like skipped a beat. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah,
oh my god.
It sounds way scarier than it was, but I suppose there's no reason it wouldn't it could have tipped over. It definitely could have. It just didn't. I mean, I suppose I don't know what it takes to actually tip a train over on its side. Like, would it have needed a much bigger sort of derailment for that to happen? I have no idea, but it felt possible the way that we were tipped over just at 10%.
I did say that you were okay before I said it, but Nick was so scared that he's still.
See, it's a scary sentence, yeah.
Mhm.
That's right. It's very scary. Okay. So, with that, have we been playing any video games this week?
I beat Indiana
Been playing
Jones.
anything?
Yeah, I beat The Great Circle yesterday. I had played through a lot of it before we went out to Los Angeles for the Game Awards and our Game of the Year, and I felt pretty comfortable talking about it in our Game of the Year awards. But I wanted to like wrap it up finally. It's like the one game that I definitely was like, on this break, I want to make sure I beat that at the very least. And I did that, and I'm just really happy with it. I think they really nailed everything that I wanted from it. I'm a big Indiana Jones fan. I always have been since I was a kid. It's definitely something I've always had in my heart. Definitely had to like put it to the side a little bit as the movies have been rough recently, but I like Indy 5 enough. But boy, the game is just like absolutely the spiritual successor that the franchise has needed. And I think the big part of it is just that they let you live in that world. They know which, when they're picking from the indie menu of like, here's the things that we're going to evoke. So it's like the Wilhelm scream is going to be there. And here's, we're going to take you back to the desert, and we're going to have, diggers from that country that like kind of like remind you of Sulla from the movie and things like that. And they'll be using a lot of the same tools that you saw in the movie. And they're going to, and of course the Nazis are going to be there. They like know how to pick from that menu in an effective way. And then it's still a Machine Games game, which means here's a section that's PT out of nowhere. And it's like, wait, what? This is what's happening here. It's just a really solid, it's got a rock solid foundation. And then they just kind of build a bunch of indie stuff on top of that. I think my early problems with the pacing they still hold true for the most part in that from the Vatican section. I know some people are really infatuated with the Vatican section. It took me time to come around to the Vatican. But I think after the Vatican, things start to pick up. And after that point, I was fully on board with the way the game was operating, where it's, hey, here is the open zone that you can explore kind of at your leisure. Although there's definitely times where it's like you should be doing these things to make sure you have access to everything. Like, go do that side quest with the boxing thing so you can get the outfits, so you can fully explore things like that. But it's like, you kind of figure it out on your own. And then the way that they are punctuated at the end of these segments with really awesome set pieces. And I think the puzzles actually kept getting better throughout the game. So just, I really came around on the Great Circle in the end and was really, really happy with it. There are some, the mid-game action sequence on the Himalayas, right? It was the Himalayas.
I just got to the Himalayas.
Okay, you just got there, right? Okay.
Literally just got there.
Boy, it makes good on the promise of like what you see when you go there, and you're like, wait, what's gonna, like, you look at it, you're like, I think I know what's gonna happen here. It makes good on that, and it's incredible. And then the end does what I want from Indiana Jones, which is, hey, no, we're going to go extra supernatural. It's going to be crazy and exciting, and like, the characters are all going to have the things that they're working toward kind of come to a clash, and it was just a really great resolution. So yeah, very happy with that game. I want them to make more, please.
Yes, and reportedly they are.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jez said Disney
makes
called
sense.
up and said, we want more.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. It's probably the first big AAA game like this that I've been fully like, I'm in that bad habit with this game where I'm refusing to move on until I've 100% at an area. So I just finally finished 100%ing the desert, Giza.
Yep.
And I've literally stopped my save file at the start of the Himalayas now.
Okay.
Which is why it's taking me so long to get through the game, because I'm just refusing to move on.
Yeah, I get it. I'm glad I didn't play it that way. I might go back, but I'm also like, there's a million other things I'm going to be playing, so I'm probably not going to 100% this game, but if you're in that mode, I could see why you're enjoying it so much. I think the last big major open area, the mode of transportation, is not my personal favorite. It's a boat. I don't like
they've shown it in
around
the
by
trailers.
boat. By boat
I'm not
in
a big
games
fan of
in
boats
general.
That's why I didn't like Wind Waker.
Yeah, I mean, God of War, the one where they had you get in the boat all the time, I didn't love that, and it's very similar here. I just don't, I don't know, something about it doesn't make me feel like I have full access to the world. But it's still a really cool area overall, and there's a lot of fun stuff to find. And I thought the puzzles like the Indiana Jones puzzles of like, hey, here's some stones and some pieces to solve these images on these rocks and stuff like that. I thought they kept getting better, and they had some of the best ones in that area.
See, I was in the Vatican for ages. Like, I absolutely love the Vatican. And I think I just had trouble again because it took me a while to realize that there are some collectibles that I can only get once I've progressed the main story within the Vatican. So I wasted a lot of time trying to get stuff that technically I was not going to be able to get.
Yep. Yeah, and there's some stuff like that where it's like you kind of have to learn how the game functions a little bit before you can fully take advantage of everything it's trying to do.
But yeah, I have loved it. Like, it's right up there with my game of the year. It's not my game of the year, but it's right up there with it.
There's a certain prince who I'm going to guarantee is your game of the year.
Oh yeah! Oh my God, Prince of Persia.
It's my game of the year. It's on my list on Game.
Is it?
GiantBomb.com. You go there right now. Read my list. Prince of Persia #1.
I might have
What a
gone
fucking
through
game,
all of those
man.
lists while figuring out name a game.
Oh, okay, fantastic.
The thing. Tell me what you think. This is how I described Indiana Jones. To me, it feels like the video game equivalent of the movie Last Action Hero. So you know how in Last Action Hero he gets sucked into the screen and he's in the movie. So he's not on set, he's in the actual movie.
Right.
That's to me what this feels like. You've been sucked into an Indiana Jones movie and you're just walking around the movie and you're doing things and all this sort of stuff within the movie.
And yeah, part of me was like, well, the movie has such a pace to it. This is what was my hang up early in the game, is the way an Indiana Jones film works is Indy gets an inciting event that sends him on a quest. He goes and he investigates the first thing, and then as he's like beginning to piece together what that means, some complicating factor interrupts that and causes a great big action sequence that sends him to another area. And now he's investigating that complicating factor while also realizing that there's more to what he discovered in the first place. And the thing just always folds on top of itself. It just keeps going and going and going. And the game doesn't necessarily work that way. So it's almost like instead of being in an Indiana Jones movie, you're just in his life. You are just living the life of him being an archaeologist. And once I sort of like flipped over to accepting that the game was enabling us to explore that side that the films couldn't do, I fell more in love with the game and was like, oh, this is actually a new way to explore this character that I've always loved. And it's also made me want to go. I've been watching the movies. I want, like, are there novels? I want to read Indiana. I just want to be in Indiana Jones stuff nonstop right now.
Yeah. I feel like, I think going forward now, especially now that Harrison's aged, this will be probably what Indiana Jones is going forward.
I mean, I think if they can get 3 games out of Machine Games and Troy Baker out of this, that would be a very, very good way to like keep Indiana Jones relevant. Of course, Disney wants more of this. This is a really good use of this IP.
Yeah, very, like, it's
pretty much the only way they can go with it now because he is so unbelievably
the best
old.
way. Yeah, I mean, they could recast the character, reboot everything, but don't do that. Do this instead.
Yeah,
recast him with Troy Baker's supple voice.
Yep, I mean, it's fantastic. God, he
does
Troy
a very
Baker's
good
incredible.
job.
Yeah. It's like there's like, it's occasionally when he's yelling, you hear like the him lose it a little bit, but that only reminds me how good it is 99% of the time, which is so much better than any other like Harrison Ford impersonator. It really is astounding.
Especially if you go and you look at the side-by-sides people have done, and he like just the full-on, I watch this scene and I'm doing the intonation that he used to do back then, not how people know him now.
Yes, and it's really good to, like, because the performance capture stuff where he just really gets the mannerisms down. I just like there was a part in the last major section where he's just sort of gesturing at something. I'm like, man, that they nailed like what Harrison Ford's like in these movies, and so and that is Troy doing that.
But mind you, Harrison Ford's still a pretty good actor these days.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know. I liked Indy 5. I thought Indy 5 was fun. It's not.
Do you watch Shrinking? Have you watched Shrinking?
It is like on my list of things that maybe I'll do during this break.
It's good.
It looks fantastic.
Shrinking is a very, very good show on Apple TV Plus, and I am looking forward to Captain America: Brave New World.
Yep.
Where he's the Red Hulk.
Yep, that'll be really cool to see.
I did temper it. It's funny. I saw Prince of Persia installed because we're just talking about Prince of Persia. I'm so happy it's your game of the year as well. I'm so happy it's your game of the year, especially in a year where a new Zelda game came out.
Yeah, I mean, I really like that Zelda game, but they just
I love Echoes. Love Echoes.
Yeah, it just like is it's a step down a little bit and maybe a little bit to the right of, especially like something like Link Between Worlds or something like that. But it's such a good idea that I still really liked it.
I haven't beat it yet. I've opened up the whole map now. Just cleared the rift in Hebra Mountains, and I think I'm now at the start. But again, I'm going and I'm collecting all the might crystals, and I think I just did finish collecting all the might crystals and fully powering myself up and all that sort of stuff. Like, my Zelda is just like next level, full powered up, and I'm just like making shit. It's so good. Like, it's funny how many times I overcomplicate things in Echoes, and I'm like, oh god, how am I going to solve this puzzle? I'm like, oh yeah, shit, I'll just make a crap load of beds, or I'll just make this elevator creature, and it'll just take me all the way up. I'm like, it's like really easy.
Yeah, I that's how I always play games of these, especially these kinds. But I always want to do it the way I feel like is correct, not just the way to get me to the end. And so I always end up making games way longer for myself a lot of times by doing that. I'm like, I don't want to just do the same thing over and over again. What would be the most creative way to solve this? And Echoes of Wisdom really enables that.
It's so good. But yes, I saw Prince of Persia still installed on my Xbox. So I had an achievement glitch in Prince of Persia. I was devastated. And I just randomly, before I decided to delete it, I was like, you know what? I'll just jump back in for a second. Jumped in, and the achievement popped, Jesse. The glitched achievement just popped. So I finally got the full 1,000 or whatever the score is now, 1,400 and something in Prince of Persia, because I got the DLC. Have you done the DLC?
I tried to do the DLC and I couldn't figure out how to get into it in like the 5 minutes I was, because I like had a little spare time before a podcast.
You just go, you go directly to the main area, and it's one of your the immortal who still likes you is standing there. You talk to her. I wonder if I didn't have the DLC downloaded and I just thought I did, because I thought I had everything set up, because I went to that area and I couldn't find anybody. Yeah, she's standing right next to the Waka Waka tree with the exclamation point over her head. I'm going to give that a shot. I would love to play through that. That might actually be what I do. I need to beat the 1,000-year door before I do Games Mess Decides. Excuse me, jeez, I haven't done that. It's taken a while. With Mike, because he'll yell at me if I don't do that. So I need to do that. And then after that, I'll probably play the DLC.
The DLC it's shortish. I loved it, but for me playing through it, the DLC feels like it is pure. Hey, all these things you learned and all this platforming we got you to practice. Now we're gonna fucking make you put this shit to the test.
That's what I want. I want them to just be sickos with all the stuff that they enable you to do. They take away your best abilities.
Double jump. Double jump's gone.
They pull the Legend of Zelda. They just suck it out of you. You get a couple things, and it's so
much of that game you did without double jump that I'm like, okay, that's fine. We can make that work.
You start to at first it's very jarring losing double jump, but it doesn't take long because you pretty much get everything else back except double jump. But oh my god, it tests your platforming. But the beauty of it is, you can't get angry at Prince of Persia because of how tight it is and how perfect it feels.
Yep.
So you can't get angry when you die, because it's like, fuck no, the game's given me the tools. It's fast enough and it's nimble enough and I can do this, but I'm just fucking it up.
Yep.
And you know what they put in? You can fast travel between Waka trees now.
Yes.
Don't have to find the actual fast travel points like you used to.
Fast travel points.
That's neat. Yeah, I'm a Metroidvania sicko from way back. So for me, it's like, no, the fast travel points are separate from the save points. So, but yeah, whatever. That's fine. That's not holy.
You still have to find it originally, which I like.
Okay.
Yeah.
I jumped into Marvel Rivals again. Did any of you play the Splatoon mode that they threw in it?
No. Did they have a paint the ground mode?
Yes. So they did.
Is it still in there?
I only played it like 2 days ago, so I don't know if it's still in there. But what they did was they did like a limited time Christmas event, because they did a whole winter theme thing. and it's Jeff the Shark, who's like the latest fucking flavor of the month craze that everyone loves. He's very cute though, Jeff the Shark. And it's literally 2 teams of 4 of nothing but Jeff the Land Shark, and you're trying to kill each other as well as paint the ground. So it's just Splatoon. So I jumped into that and tried it out, and man, I mean, I suck, but it was a pretty fun mode, and as I'm playing it, as someone who didn't play Splatoon, I was like, wait, this is just Splatoon, isn't it? I'm almost 100% certain this is just Splatoon. You're painting the ground, and it's got a little percentage thing, and you're fighting over how much is painted of the ground.
And his Jeff the Shark's like a spin attack is definitely something like an ultimate that you get in Splatoon. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, he circles the ground and swallows up anyone that's in that circle.
As I have said, they are shameless, but it's very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks cool. I hope this is going to be running for a little bit because I would like to try this when I get back.
It's just literally Splatoon.
Bomb. Okay, that looks crazy.
Yeah, so I played a little bit of that as well. But and other than that, my usuals of Fortnite and Rocket League. Had to buy Mariah Carey when she was available in Fortnite. Got the whole setup. All I Want for Christmas Is You. Get lobby music, emote. Whole lot. So I've just been playing as Mariah Carey for the last week. Fortnite is so fucking crazy.
It's truly unhinged. I really appreciate how they just go for it every time. They never hold back.
Oh man, I still can't. I wonder how much money they would have to throw at Nintendo to get Samus in there.
Yeah, well, what was there was a thing about why Samus didn't end up there. Was it just like the guns or something? But that doesn't make sense for Samus. I can't remember. Oh, they didn't want it to be on Xbox and PlayStation. Like, I think that was the hang up.
Is it? Oh, okay. I don't know. Nintendo. She fits so well into Fortnite though.
It would. I mean, they should just do it. Who cares? Well. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Actually, there was a couple of super chats we missed, and I wish I had gotten to this one back when we were talking about Indiana Jones. So there's one from Rafik145 that says, "Is Indiana Jones the best game graphically in 2024?"
It's very impressive.
Ooh. It just won best graphics of the year on Digital Foundry's list. It was number 1, Hellblade. They are ray tracing freaks, and having a full path require ray tracing game is always
I mean, the path tracing is pretty impressive. Yeah. There was definitely before the ray tracing was on, there was definitely some like lighting, like
the shadows didn't cascade correctly. They did
not.
Weird.
They looked really rough. Yes, I haven't watched the Digital Foundry mode or the video, but I bet they talked about it. You're right. But yeah, I was definitely noticing like, this light coming out of this lantern is just making a perfect like shadow. So there's just big plus sign on the ground. It was ugly. But with path tracing, it's pretty impressive. I had a lot of visual bugs that don't bother me. But I'm like, is this bothering anyone else? And I'm like, maybe it was just me that experienced a lot of this stuff. It's possible.
I do see chat. Hellblade 2 was their number 2.
Yeah, Hellblade 2, of course.
Really? Hellblade 2 was... See, I would put Hellblade 2 at number 1, even though the game I wasn't overly enamored with. Visually, it was like fucking ridiculous, that game. It was just insane.
Yeah, it does look insane.
If you like to for that realism thing, I've always liked the art style that Grezzo goes with the Zelda games.
Yep.
I don't know. I just think that look fits so well with the top-down Zelda games. I still can't understand how Nintendo hasn't made an amiibo of Zelda from that game.
Yeah, I mean they've
only got Link, and that's it.
Yeah. I have one of the handful of amiibos I have is that Link somewhere, but
handful. I've got.
Can I just say?
I know.
87.
I'm just playing a random Fortnite clip, and he's driving around a Cybertruck while dressed as Mariah Carey in a weird ballerina like dress.
Yeah,
what the fuck
just like my
is
dream
this
diary.
game?
It's from the Emancipation of Mimi.
Of course.
Nothing can ever compete with this because people are like, oh, what's Halo going to do to survive? It can't do this. It can't do this type of stupid IP shit. It can never be as big as it used to be because
a big part of why the Last of Us multiplayer thing never materialized is they couldn't figure out how to do this long term.
Like even with like the Division 2, they just put a Stalker 2 bundle in there that looks really cool. But that's never going to do a tenth of what something this stupid can do, and not a billionth of what it can do.
See, that's him.
Oh yeah, that's great. Oh, you got it in the package still. Okay.
Oh, I was not opening this one. I was not gonna. I opened most really of my. I've got 10 or 15 that I never opened the box on because I know that they're the ones that are going to be worth like an absolute fucking fortune. Like this Japan only box boy.
Oh sure, yeah. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know they made that.
Oh yeah. Nintendo Australia just posted randomly on Twitter going, "Hey guys, we've secured 50 of these from Japan. Jump on our eBay and grab one." I was like, "Oh,
that's crazy."
Like,
okay.
Oh my god, I went fucking nuts trying to get a hold of this bastard. And this thing is never coming out of there, like ever.
Oh no, yeah. You should put it in an acrylic case right now, yeah.
Oh my god, I've got the gold Mario, the silver Mario that they did. I went nuts on amiibos, man. But how they didn't do Zelda in this, it makes no sense to me.
They might still do it. Like they've slowed down so much.
Silly stuff.
They've got to figure out a way to make it so none of your amiibos work on the Switch too, and you have to rebuy them all.
Oh yeah, they got the boys in the lab on that one.
They won't do that. No way. Good Old Collingwood has a super chat. Jeff, who do you get to play you in the movie version of the Christmas train Derail? There will be ninjas, Russian mafia, and Hans Gruber.
Troy Baker. Troy Baker will do me.
Yeah, Troy Baker.
I think so.
Nolan North.
Nolan North will do you, being worried at home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Jesse, have you been playing anything?
I have. I played a little Titanfall 2 on stream because they gave that away, the Ultimate Edition with Game Pass Ultimate for 1 day.
It's a good game.
Yeah. God, it's still one of my favorite. I can play that entire campaign forever.
It's so good.
Man. I actually bought a few games on both the Microsoft and Steam sales. Sniper Elite V2 Remastered is $350. If you want the Sniper Elite games that are very linear and very go kill these people in this room, and then you walk and you kill people on this street, because they're not open world. They are just like very strict sniper missions. It was interesting to go back to. It holds up pretty well.
That new Sniper Elite Resistance is out in January?
Yep, I did a preview of it. Yeah, day one Game Pass on the 30th, I think. There's like there's literally 3 things. Citizen Sleeper 2, Eternal Strands, and Sniper Elite Resistance are all on Game Pass within 3 days of each other.
Jeez,
like, for fuck's sake. It's a lot to cover. I'll be reviewing that one. I did a preview of it. It is very much Sniper Elite 5, expanded different, the side character co-op guy in different parts of France. So if you liked 5, it was a lot of fun.
I like shooting Hitler in the nuts in 5, yeah.
It's in there again, believe it or not. I know. Shocking.
I mean, it should just be in all of them from now on, yeah.
The other thing I played a fair amount of, I did a Make a Good stream because of our Extra Life. We hit all our targets when we broke 2K for the first time in early November.
Nice.
So we did a just under 12-hour stream yesterday. And there was 2 main things I would recommend out of that stream. If you're into VR, Clone Drone in the Hyperdome is just a really fun melee VR game. It's like a pseudo sequel to Clone Drone in the Battle Zone, but this one's VR. That one wasn't. And it's like that voxely look, but you're just chopping the shit out of robots in like a very light roguelike. It's really good. If you have
that's a cool
pretty sure it's on VR. Everything. And I also just give you their email if you want to get a code. They like handing them out.
Okay. Yeah.
And the other one was going back and I was just playing some Hogwarts Legacy on PC because that game looks nice on console, but it is a little. You got to do the 40 FPS mode, and I just wanted that locked 120 everything. And yeah, it's been a fun week off as I also work on 2 reviews.
You also did cooking.
I did. Yeah, I made some potato cakes because I started at 9 in the morning and didn't finish until almost 9 at night. So,
sheesh.
Yeah, I walked to the gym and then came back and you were cooking. What the fuck is happening here?
It was like I got it started for like 10 minutes and just. If you ever want to have like a walk around your house without showing your address or anything, because I have to be careful about that, you just use Droid Cam on an Android phone, and you get a really nice looking 1080p video feed over Wi-Fi. So yeah, it's been a very fun week.
What do you use for that? Because we tried that at Dan's house and it didn't. They were doing something on iOS and it didn't work very well.
Yeah, Droid Cam. It's one built for Android phones. Any Android phone will work. It is just called Droid Cam. You have an installer that runs locally as like a little server on your computer. Then you got the app on your phone, and it works absolutely. I've never had a problem with it.
Didn't work for iOS. What didn't work for iOS?
They were trying to do like some like remote cam thing with iOS over their local network at Dan's house, and it just was like spotty. It just was like very shaky.
Really?
Not very solid. Yeah, there
Did he have a Mac?
Issues. Yeah. I forget what he was doing. I don't know exactly how.
Very odd.
Nick is very
right now. That camera is an iPhone.
Okay.
This is my iPhone hooked up wirelessly to my Mac.
Okay, yeah, that looks great.
Sometimes if you get too far away though, and anything can start interfering.
I'm sure it was just a matter of the network.
Yeah, maybe.
Wi-Fi Direct can have a harder time than actually just using a router.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny, Jesse. You know, you were talking about all the stuff you've bought in sales. You know, I just realized I've bought a bunch of stuff lately on Xbox on sale that I didn't even
normally
realize
just steal
I'd
it
bought
from
so
the community.
much. Yeah, I normally steal from our community that give away codes, but I bought Assassin's Creed Syndicate apparently. I think because of the 60 FPS boost that it got. What else did I buy? I bought the Batman Arkham collection. Don't know why. Akami. Marvel vs. Capcom.
You have horrible OCD and really just want to hoard everything digital that you can.
I do. I've replaced my physical hoarding with digital hoarding. And I got Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Deluxe Edition because I watched Maximilian stream his new mod that they've put together for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Beyond, it's called. And they've turned Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite into like a new version of Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yep.
It's only a Steam mod, and I already own the game on Steam, but I got carried away and just went and bought it on Xbox for some reason.
Well, that's crazy.
I don't know why I did that. I just did it. It was cheap, so I just did it. Any other super chat? I might save that super chat for later because Jesse, I'm going to go with an impromptu news topic later. Now, I think we've talked about everything we've been playing and games and that sort of stuff, haven't we? That's basically it. Nothing else to add?
No, just indie.
Yeah, indie, which apparently has done quite well, by the way. I think it's second most played or something, or debuted number 2 behind Black Ops 6.
Yeah,
or something
it was
like that.
Matt Piscatella reported that for the month of December, like its first week, the only game that did better was Black Ops 6 in the US.
Not bad for a game on Game Pass.
No, that's very good. That's impressive.
That's pretty good. And it's hopefully it's done well enough to send that message that we want more of them. Like,
yeah,
as Jeff mentions, there's a good foundation here, and if they can build on that and somehow up the ante in the next one, oh boy, that would be good.
Yeah, I mean, they'll do more of this, right? I don't know if they're going to be able to and now we should have like 10 games like this. It's like you don't have 10 machine games laying around, right? That's going to be difficult,
No.
but keep them. I mean, listen, I would love for Machine Games to go finish the Wolfenstein story, but yes. I think that might be off the table now, and I get it.
You reckon?
I mean, not anytime soon. Yeah. I mean, I hope not. I hope I'm wrong. I've had my heart broken plenty of times on this now, so.
Yeah, you reckon Disney might be like, hey guys, guess what? You're doing more of these.
I mean, yeah.
Do they have another lifelong story that Todd Howard wanted to tell?
Right, yeah.
I do think with Microsoft, and also thank you, BT Maverick, for the 5 gifted subs. I think with Microsoft, Phil's talked about it before. He's okay with licensed IP games if it's really talented creators, really influential ones who have a really good pitch, because IP is a licensing nightmare.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, a lot of these companies have gone back and forth on, hey, do we want to use IP or use our own IP?
Mm-hmm. And Ubisoft's now like in the, oh boy, we're going to go back and we own Tom Clancy. We'll just start doing that again. Greenlight the Division 3.
Swings back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, look what happened to Insomniac, I guess. Yeah, they're just Marvel, aren't they?
Yep. And it's, I mean, if it's working for them, yeah. But not every studio can be as successful as that.
It is
for sure.
funny. I don't know if you've seen it, but like the console warrior dummies are like saying, "Wow, this looks like a Temu Marvel game with all the leaked Wolverine footage." And I'm like,
the Wolverine footage?
Extremely early. Like none of these games look polished until the end, you dumbasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I did see that footage. And again, people shouldn't ever look at the graphics in early builds. For me, my concern is the gameplay. Because gameplay and systems are sort of set up earlier on in dev. And I think that's somewhat my concern about the game. I still think X-Men Origins Wolverine will probably remain the greatest Wolverine game ever made, but we'll find out. What else have we got here? Should we talk about that cross-platform interface, Jesse?
So I list things that you might be interested in for you to choose what you would like to talk with Jeff about.
Well, according to Windows Central, which is Jez Gurdon's website, Xbox is reportedly developing a sort of it's an in-game, kind of like how your Xbox has that guide. It's like an in-game Xbox interface, but that works across Xbox games no matter where they are, I think. Is that right? Have I got that right?
Yeah, like I think the idea of it is it's kind of like Windows Game Bar, but built into games themselves.
The games.
Yeah.
Yes. Where is it? This means that for games running on other platforms from Xbox, they will still have an Xbox flavor and in-game Xbox systems, maybe even cloud saves. Now, that would be fucking great.
Yeah, it will be interesting. Will Indiana Jones's cloud save that you can use on Steam and still get Xbox achievements? Will that be in the PlayStation version next year?
Does Ubisoft kind of do this already?
Yep, you get one. Yeah.
Yes.
Them and CD Projekt Red both give you one cloud save per game.
Yeah, but like can you access like the Uplay? I know it's not called.
Ubisoft Connect. You can. That is a separate app on everything that will pop up when you press the button.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I wonder if they're just like, we know we're going to be everywhere. Let's just get this done. I mean, I get why they're doing this. The platform is now everything's an Xbox, blah blah blah. This will be exciting if it makes things easier and better. But beyond that, it's like, okay. I mean, it's going to be another one of these in games that I mostly ignore because they probably don't provide the functionality that I need. Hey, if the cloud saves work, I will love that. I think the Ubisoft cloud saves have been pretty good. So yeah, I liked having Prince of Persia. Just the save just worked everywhere. I brought it up on my Switch. It's like the PC cloud save just worked there. So that was very neat.
Yes. I was hoping, what I discovered, I Googled it because I was going to buy it on PS5 because it's on sale on PS5. Because in my head, I'm like, wait, if I've got a fully completed Xbox save file and then I load that up on PlayStation, shouldn't all the trophies pop? They do not.
Oh, wow,
so
really?
Like, oh, man, that's a missed opportunity, Ubisoft. So, you know how many like achievement and trophy hunters would just double dip?
Yeah, trophy sluts.
I think that's probably why PlayStation doesn't, because they always do seem to have that. It should feel special and like you earned it here, not you can just buy it.
Yeah, but didn't like anytime there was like a PS4 game, they got a PS5 version, or it would just pop on the PS5.
Correct, except for Horizon Zero Dawn. That was the only exception.
Okay.
All the rest of them, the remastered games, if you load your PS4 save, the Platinum just popped on PS5. So they have no problem with that.
Yeah.
So
At least you earned it on a PlayStation. You weren't earning it somewhere else and then coming over.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I guess so. I could understand Sony being that petty. But as to this OS, I don't mind the sound of it, especially if the cloud saves work, because that's how you get your double and your triple dips. If people know they can just pick up their save from Xbox and, I'll just take it on the Switch and take this game on the go and then log into Xbox and the cloud saves there, that would be very cool if they get that to work.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
My expectation here is that this is just something that shows up in a bunch of games and I forget it's there, and it doesn't really affect me or the way I play games in any significant way. That's the most likely outcome. But hey, I mean, if this makes playing games that are like Xbox games on Steam Deck a little bit better or something like, or not Steam Deck, but like a handheld Windows PC. If it's like, all the functionality is just built in the game, so I don't have to deal with the Windows side of things, or I can minimize my interaction with that. I will welcome it. That would be nice to see.
Yeah, that seems to be their big push right now, is making Windows just work as a game launcher.
Yes, they need to figure that out, and there's a lot of work between them getting from this point that they're at now to that.
The store.
That's the big rumor for CES, is like there's a lot of this as an Xbox makes more sense. Like
I'm
Warren
sure there
and
is.
Jez Corden keep teasing it. I haven't asked them what it means, but they're teasing.
We'll see how it actually works in the real world, though.
As long as they don't use the word AI, I might like it.
I'm not getting in trouble. I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, I'd mute you immediately.
I refuse. I'm not getting in trouble. The timing is not great. But yes, so that's the alleged Xbox cross-platform interface. What else have we got here? Have we got anything else here? You know what? So there was an interview. Who interviewed him? It was on Video Games Chronicle. There was an interview with Sega's president, Sega's CEO, and there was a couple of tidbits that all the websites picked up on. One that I found interesting was that they've been considering their own subscription service, which is funny for a couple of reasons. One, because Sega already had one. They already had Sega Channel long before Game Pass was ever a thing. I just wonder what a Sega subscription service would look like in 2025. Like, what would it contain and how would it work? What platforms? Like, I wonder how it would work.
Yeah,
I have no idea what it would be.
I mean, there's the Ubisoft subscription and the EA thing. So it's like they found a way to get those on most platforms, right? Because Ubisoft's on PlayStation.
Yeah, it's
and
on everything.
Xbox.
Now. Yep, and
on
even
Xbox.
You can do it's $15 a month for the Ubisoft stuff, or $3 more to get it on Xbox. So it's $15 on PC. Then you can pay $18 to get on Xbox. So they just delisted all of their old games, like pretty much all of them. So that's their vault right off the bat. So.
Right. And then EA is on everything, right, as well.
Yeah, EA wasn't on PlayStation. They finally relented.
Yeah, right. Okay, so I mean, I could see Sega looking at that and be like, well, between the Sega core stuff and Atlas, we got stuff that people would maybe want to subscribe for. It's just, I think it is in that next tier down, because I think most people that are like super into Atlas games are going to be buying their personas. They're just going to be buying their personas. They're not looking to subscribe to. No, there's no way. Or a very little way. So yeah, I could see why this looks appealing to anyone who's like a business person and you're like, hey, we can lease our stuff to everybody long term and become landlords, and that's the way to get rich. But I don't know, Sega doesn't have the juice for that.
So often it feels like they're trying to appease shareholders and say like, we're looking into this for you, because like that was Phil's thing when people were saying, oh, he talked about trying to buy Nintendo. He's like, no. He was responding to other people who were like, wouldn't it be great to buy Nintendo? He's like, oh, yes. Yeah. It would be amazing, while rolling his eyes out the back of his head.
That was very funny, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, though. Like a Sega subscription, you'd think the Xbox one, like they've just gone and delisted all those backwards compatible games. You'd think they would have kept them there for the sake of that subscription service. Because with Xbox, they have, I mean, outside of PC, but on console, on Xbox, they have a unique opportunity where they've got Sega games that go back 2 generations that they can include in that subscription.
They can still do them there.
Sega games,
they don't have to be listed for sale. They would just only be available through the subscription.
The subscription. Can they do that, though, if they've delisted them?
Yeah, they can still be downloaded. They're not gone. So it's not like Little Big Planet 3, which just like went kaboom and it's gone forever and you can't, or PT, where you can't download it. As long as it's still there and you can download it, then they can include it. When it's like GoldenEye, you can't buy GoldenEye itself, even though it is listed on the store. It's only a part of Rare Replay, like that type of listing.
Okay, because yeah, on Xbox, any subscription would have extra thanks to the backwards compatibility. Like you've got Gun Valkyrie and you've got other stuff from OG Xbox 360 that could really fill out that catalog of games to make the subscription more worthwhile on Xbox. Because, yeah, Jeff's probably right. They would do like an EA Play thing where you pay a couple of bucks extra on your existing Game Pass Ultimate and get Sega stuff as well. I wonder if they're just planning on re-releasing a whole bunch of old stuff to sort of make that worthwhile.
They seem to have something in the works there. I don't know if like a subscription is like a like the thrust of the attack that they have planned. It might be something that they're considering on the back end. But for now, I think they're like, we're going to do a bunch of stuff with old games and reintroduce them in fun ways. And then maybe at the end of all that, they're like, okay, and now here is a subscription to sort of be the tail that we can make money long term on this stuff after doing all that work. I think the biggest thing for Sega seriously seems to be, let's make new games based on this old IP. Let's take the nostalgia we have and actually capitalize on that. And that's the strategy. So, I guess if they get 10 years into that and they have a ton of awesome stuff that they've released, a subscription at that point makes a lot more sense. But in this moment, it just doesn't. They haven't had enough stuff to really justify.
And it's interesting because Hermen Hulst and Capcom have both just said the exact same thing. Like Hermen just said, we'd like to look into our own IP. Like we've definitely swung back around to, hey, all those cool things. If we scope and don't overspend, we can make some really cool games that'll do okay while we try and figure out some live service shit. Because say even on Sega's end, they've got a couple things that are more live servicey with Jet Set Radio and Crazy Taxi, focused on being the open worlder thing. Yeah, the ones that are like, these will essentially pay for all the other ones in their mind, so they can diversify.
And then they have like Shinobi, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's clearly.
Oh my god, did you see the leaked gameplay of Shinobi?
I don't know if I did.
It's on YouTube right now.
Yeah, I'll take a
Lizard Cube Shinobi. It looks fucking ridiculous. It's just. Oh my god. But I'm just like, Capcom now is obviously fully capitalizing on the collection stuff. Like we've got the Marvel vs. Capcom collection, the arcade classics, the fighting beat 'em up bundle, blah blah. I know Sega had done that in the 360 gen with Altered Beast, Streets of Rage and all that, but I'm kind of shocked now that Sega's not going, hey, Virtua Fighter's 30th anniversary, we're releasing a new Virtua Fighter, maybe we should do a Virtua Fighter collection. Virtua Fighter 1,
You're getting 2, 3, 5 on Steam, and that's it.
I mean,
it's just so weird.
Sega's not done a ton of collections, right? The Capcom's been the one that's just like collection after collection, and they've all been so great. Sega will catch on to that, because I mean, right now it seems like all the Japanese publishers are kind of looking at what Capcom's doing, and they're a few years behind. And I think Sega will get on board with that here pretty soon.
There's a story I just put in that came up, which is Yoshinori Kitase said of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the sales did not disappoint, but they cannot be exclusive to a single console anymore. And that just seems to be the way everyone's realizing that the more there's no point, like actual exclusivity is only really good for the platform holder. It only hurts us as a third party.
Yep.
Sega were doing the collections in the 360 gen though. They had Wonder Boy, Altered Beast, Golden Axe, not Altered Beast, sorry, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage. They did those little mini collections, and the Genesis collection. They did a lot of it in the 360 gen. I'm just surprised that in the more current gen, they're not doing their, like, leaning into the arcade stuff. So have a Virtua Fighter collection, have a classic racer collection with Sega Rally and
give me a
Daytona.
Superscalar collection, all the Superscalar games, that would rule.
Imagine a racing collection that's Daytona, Daytona 2, Sega Rally 2, Scud Race, which never got a home port.
Do they have IP issues with Daytona? It is just a city. I never knew if that was actually tied to the racing circuit.
I think they would actually still.
I think it is.
But didn't they rename Daytona?
Sega Arcade Racing Classic.
Yeah, so they probably just do that. Yeah.
Everyone would know it's Daytona anyway.
Right.
They can still have their music.
And
they probably can still have the song.
Yeah, they made their songs. Yeah,
Daytona.
Yes.
Hopefully they keep paying him.
Oh my god, the best.
Yep.
The absolute best. It's just funny seeing them. Sega's being a little bit weird with their retro stuff. Like, so in this same interview, they're like, oh, and by the way, I don't think we're going to do there's no plans right now for more mini consoles. It's like,
yeah.
What? Like, come on, man. A Dreamcast Mini is right there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not
right there.
I guess Dreamcast is a little bit easier to do than some other ones.
The Saturn would be hard to do.
Yeah, Saturn and like N64 for Nintendo. N64 is pretty difficult in terms of like hardware, so I think they would the cost effectiveness is just a bit tough. Dreamcast games, they're pretty big, so storage is not expensive. I don't know. I think that these companies, when they look at the mini consoles, they look at them as novelty items, and I think they just have moved past this and are like, there's other kinds of novelty stuff that we'll do, and so I think they might do like more standalone arcade like plug-in devices that have a bunch of the arcade games on and sell them in that way.
They do that.
They'll do more of those.
What if they just went back to the old news groups from 1999 and 2000 and got all the CD-ROM versions where people hacked out shit so they'd fit because you couldn't make a GD-ROM?
Yeah.
Not that I know anything about that.
That's what they should do. There, right there.
Yeah. Nintendo came very close to doing a 64 mini.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 100% they were looking at it, but I think they looked at it and were like, eh.
I was about to say, not sure what happened, but I know they were definitely looking at it.
Yeah.
And I was when I heard, I got very excited.
I mean, the reality is it just probably would have been a touch too expensive. The profit margin probably just wasn't there. And they're like, hey, what if we just put Super Mario and Super Mario Lost Levels on a little Game & Watch and sold that instead? And I bet that made a lot more profit.
I've got both of those. I've got the Zelda and the Mario Game & Watch.
Nick, did you get an Alarmo?
No.
Disappointed.
Yeah. And now they have the Alarmo. That's the thing they have instead of mini consoles now is Alarmo.
Did you get one?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Of course. I'm a sucker. Of course I did.
I actually did not get an Alarmo.
It's very cute. I like it a lot, actually.
Yep. Now, there's a super chat here from my friend Musayed, which I guess can lead us into a topic that we just touched on a second ago. Jesse brought it up. Hey, guys. How about that Hermen Hulst recent quote about legacy PlayStation IP? I personally feel it's just PR. In an ideal world, we would get Parappa, Sly Cooper, and Ape Escape on PS5, but it's likely not happening. So yes, Hermen Hulst was also interviewed and talked about, we're gonna lean more into our IP. He says, actually, I think I've got a quote here. Where is it? The numerous IPs that we hold are an important asset for PlayStation, and as part of our efforts to strengthen our portfolio, not only developing new franchises, we are also continually looking at opportunities to leverage our legacy IP. Yeah,
I think, this is the thing to say right now. I think this is reminiscent of what Jesse was saying about how when these people talk, they're trying to say the right thing, to say they have answers, and for a while the answer was live service, and they obviously can't say that anymore. So the answer instead has become, well, we have things that we can work on while we figure out what the next real answer is, and people want to hear them say, well, all those games you were always asking us for, maybe we'll make one of those. I think they probably will. There's definitely franchises that could come back, but it's not like, the idea of like, okay, well, we're going to have this deluge of all these games. Like, getting a developer to make one of these games and spend years on it is an opportunity cost. And they're going to be looking at it, it's like, well, if they were making something else instead that could make a lot more money, we would rather have them working on that instead. So yeah, they're not going to go like, you're not going to get Legend of Dragoon, right? That's not happening. So people should only get so excited about this kind of thing. But I mean, I would like to see it.
And the problem is Hermen is always trying to fucking force Horizon down everyone's throat all the time. Like, he's like Gretchen Wieners. He's just...
Who now?
Always just... Haven't you seen Mean Girls?
Oh, yes. I gotta say, I couldn't remember the characters' names, but yes. He's trying to make Fetch happen?
Trying to make Fetch happen. Horizon is Fetch, and he's just always trying to make Fetch happen. It's... I don't know. It's bordering on annoying. If
Gretchen Wieners, or whatever her name is, could have bundled Fetch with the PlayStation, it would have probably had a much better chance of catching on in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's right. Because they do. They have a lot. Like, I just bought Jak and Daxter on PS5 when it released and started playing Jak and Daxter again. And I'm like, man, I enjoyed this game so much on the PS2 back in the day. There obviously are some control quirks with I never realized how unconventional a lot of the games controlled back then. I completely forgot about it. Like, you know, in 2024, we've become accustomed to games playing a certain way. The main button at the bottom is usually jump. Then the one to the top left of that is usually a light attack or the attack button. And then, so there's a certain hierarchy we have to our button layouts in most games these days. The games from the Dreamcast PS2 era didn't have that.
No, they were just...
Button layouts were just fucked.
It was just all jazz, baby. It was
everything. Oh my God.
Freeform. Anything could be a jump button.
Yes, literally anything could be a jump button, and anything could be an attack button, and shit was just, and I was just like, oh my God, what's happening here? So I went into the settings, and it just totally let me remap the controls. So I just laid it out like a modern game, and it's just playing so much better now. Jack and Daxter, it's like it's more fun now.
That's where God. Like collections would like you get a good studio to gather these games together and be like, and here's modern controls, and it just plays the way you want it to. Yeah,
that's exactly right. What would you want PlayStation to bring back?
You know, I mean, for me, I'm an old man, so I go back to PS1. You know, I think Warhawk or Jumping Flash. I think that would be fun for me. Really? I think like something more realistic is. I mean, realistic in terms of I think it's something they would consider. I don't think it's realistic in terms of the developer having time to do it, but something like Resistance, I think, is something they might try again.
Yes.
Again, maybe not because the studio's so busy, but yeah, I think that's the kind of game that I think we're actually talking about here, and we're not talking about Jumping Flash or
Mr.
Colony
Mosquito.
Wars. Yeah, I'm definitely not talking about Mr. Mosquito, although we should always be talking about Mr. Mosquito. But it's like, you know, they were just trying Twisted Metal. They gave two studios a chance at Twisted Metal, and they had a show that was successful, and they couldn't get that game working. I just don't know how much they're going to be able to follow through on this, because if the pitch here is these are smaller, more tightly budgeted games that we could do in between the real stuff, I mean, they're already saying where the priority lies, and it's not with these games. I think that's why like it rings hollow compared to like a company like Sega saying, "Hey, the strategy is we're going to make a ton of these games, and like we really care about this stuff, and it seems like we want to really make this work. We'll see if the proof is in the pudding, if any of those games are any good." But I kind of believe Sega a little bit more when they start talking this way, and Sony it's a little bit harder. I think they're just so used to a certain level of success at Sony that you know, like if a game comes out and is not going to sell 5 million copies, it better win Game of the Year, or else they're not going to really care.
Yeah, it's like they don't do day one in their subservice, so they don't have that as well as someone like, oh, it only sold 1 million, but it got way more gameplay than we thought, and people really, because that is like the main metrics of all the subservices is just how much is something getting played, and they don't. They're always falling back to how much did it sell.
Yep, I think like if you look at their list of dormant IP, like Ape Escape, Jack and Daxter, Sly Cooper, Resistance,
Infamous,
yes, Twisted Metal. Then, like you start to get like, okay, any of those, they probably maybe pick one or two of those, but then you get like, was Dark Cloud one of theirs? I think like, Dark
Cloud,
right? Jet Moto, Mag, like what? Like at a certain point, like what are we talking about? Like, there's not a that super deep of a list of things that are realistically going to come back.
Yeah, they were always
now that I
the
think
default.
about it,
They were the default. Hey, you like video games? You have this thing, and you can play most of the stuff that isn't Nintendo.
Right. And they had like a lot of first party stuff to like kind of fill in the gaps. But boy, do they thrive on third party.
Yeah.
I feel like I keep forgetting that. Like, the PS3 generation is where they really started to establish some solid, worthwhile IPs. The PS1 and PS2 were very much third-party machines, but by design. Like Sony did it that way purposely.
Yep. That was the time to do it.
I feel like it's easy to forget that, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
So really, from the PS3 gen, like you said, Resistance, Infamous, Dead Nation. God, that was a good game. Did you ever play Dead Nation?
No.
I don't know if you, it's on the not remastered, but like the deluxe version of Dead Nations on PS4. So it should be backwards compatible, I think, on PS5. It's like a top-down isometric twin stick shooter thing, zombie shooter thing.
Oh yeah, this looks cool. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's like nearly my favorite PS3 game.
Is it cooperative?
Oh shit, good question. I can't remember. Okay. And I think it's made by Housemarque, but I could be wrong there.
According to
Google,
it says
according to
yes.
this first comment on this PlayStation Europe video, it's one of the best games to play co-op with friends. So,
when I played Dead Nation, I was like, oh my god, I fucking love this game. It is. I reckon it would be right up your alley. I reckon you should give it a go. If you get a chance.
It looks really fun. Yeah.
It's so much fun. It's so good.
That was
and they're the games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Housemarque.
Like, Climax. Okay.
It's such a good game. And yes, they released Abdul. Thank you very much, Abdul114 in the chat. Dead Nation Apocalypse. That's right. Launched on PlayStation Plus in 2014. So you may already have it if you are one of those people like me that just attached all the games for PlayStation Plus each month.
Definitely did not.
I don't know,
but I don't mind buying this.
Oh, it's so good. Where is he? Oh, yeah, while we're on this topic, Masayed with another super chat. It's upsetting Sony are not leveraging their PlayStation IPs with different genres, using third-party devs. Imagine a rhythm platformer starring Parappa, a 2D Metroidvania God of War, akin to the latest Prince of Persia. Yeah, that... Oh, my God. Can you imagine? A Prince of Persia-style Metroidvania, but with Kratos, and he switches between the blades of chaos and switches between the axe and the... Oh, my God.
Yep, that'd be awesome.
That would be so good.
Don't forget about
Sony
the...
ever made a Metroidvania? I don't think so.
Not off the top of my head. Twin stick shooters, they definitely did via Housemarque.
Yeah.
Yep. And we also got Resogun, which was also a very good game. See, I just miss Housemarque's older, like Super Stardust.
Me too.
I just miss a lot of that older Housemarque stuff.
Yep.
They also made Outland for Ubisoft, which was that was a Metroidvania where you had to switch between being red and blue to get into certain parts.
I like that a lot. Yeah, that was cool.
Is that Outland?
Yeah. Yes, Outland. Yeah. So yeah, I miss a lot of that stuff, but that's my jam. Those sorts of games are my jam. It's why I loved Mark of the Ninja. It's why I loved Ori and the Will of the Wisps and Metroid Dread. And like, I can't get enough of those games, man. They're just so good.
Yep.
And because I'm sure our Xbox community loves it. While we're on the PlayStation train, a Rafik145 with another super chat. Is PlayStation getting rid of the showcase format? Not that.
No.
I know of.
No. They're going to deploy it when they feel they need it. They're not. What does get rid of something that requires a lot of effort mean? Like, they're not taking it out back and executing it. They're just going to use it when they need it, and it just takes a lot of planning and effort to put together a showcase like that. And so when they could default to state of play instead, they'll do that. And then when they have games and announcements worthy of a showcase, they will do that. I think it's just they're not going to ever commit to doing it every year on this at this certain time ever again. They're never going to do that again, but they will do a show. They'll do a showcase again at some point. Who knows?
Yes. Yeah, I was about to say Sony now has they very much created that delineation between what a state of play means and what a showcase means. And there's now an understanding that if they're doing a showcase, holy shit, they've got something big to show. So until they'd have to be able to... It's a tricky thing for them to do, though, because, at some point they're going to want to show Wolverine off. Are they building stuff up to have a showcase that includes Wolverine, or is Wolverine just going to get its own state of play, or is it going to... I'm very interested to see, because Disney's going to have expectations there as well.
Yeah.
Disney's going to be like, hey, this is fucking Wolverine, give it its own state of play, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So,
I mean, Disney's Disney's gaming people understand that a showcase is a big deal. They'd probably be okay with it being in a showcase. But you're right. There could always be caveats like that.
Oh, but yes, they'd want it in a showcase. But then on Sony's end, they need to have other stuff to fill that showcase out.
Well, I think the good news there is Sony's at some point is going to have the dam break and have plenty of announcements at some point. We said that would happen this year. It didn't. I think it could happen in 2025.
They will definitely have Resident Evil 9, and having like something like that in your pocket because you were able to get that marketing forever is pretty nice.
Yes, the likelihood is that it would be something that includes the next look at Intergalactic. Then you've got Marvel's Wolverine. You've got Resident Evil 9. Maybe they get
more
their own little GTA 6.
I mean, I think the San Diego is at the studio, the God of War studio. Their next game could pop up at any point in the next couple of years.
Yeah,
Santa Monica. Thank you.
Santa Monica.
Yes, thank you. San Diego's the baseball studio. Santa Monica's game could pop up anywhere in the next couple of years. Probably this year they announce it. So yeah.
Actually, I had someone reach out to me about the next God of War. But they're like, don't say anything. Maybe ask around and verify before you say anything. So I might ask Jeff after the show. Yeah. I might ask Jeff after the show.
I can ask. You tell me what you heard. I'll go ask about it. That's fine.
Yes, I will.
We can make something happen there.
Yep. So I think that's it on the PlayStation stuff. Oh, sorry, Dave Brownfield. I missed your super chat. I should have asked this when we were... I should have brought this up when we were talking about Sega. David Brownfield, a super chat saying, Chu Chu Rocket or Shut the Front Door. Oh, how good is Chu Chu Rocket?
Chu Chu Rocket is excellent. I haven't played it in a grip.
Oh, my God.
But, I love Chu Chu Rocket.
It's on iOS.
Yeah, it's still great.
Real fans love Sega iOS. Swirl.
Yeah.
Sure. I like Zoop. Give me Zoop. That was another puzzle game from that time. That was on everything.
Zoop. Did you ever play Snake Ball on PS3?
Mm-mm.
My God. I can't remember who made it. It's PlayStation 3 exclusive, so I don't know if it's one of those little side studios or whatever. It was like a PS3 launch title. I just bought it because I'm like, when you get a new console and digital was brand new back then, and when you saw cheap games for like $10 and stuff, you're like, fuck it, I'll buy this. You don't even know what the fuck a game is, but it's a cheap digital game. I'm just going to buy it. So I bought this game called Snake Ball, and it's this weird remake of Snake. Like from your Nokia 3310 Snake, but it's full 3D, and your character's riding on top of a snake, and it's like eating stuff. And the PlayStation 3 home screen, the XMB home screen, you know how when you landed on an icon, a splash screen would go over your whole screen, music would take over your UI and all that? Snake, Jesse's playing it now. Look at that. Your little character's just like riding on these snakes. That is the game I have. And the UI is so obnoxious on the home screen. Like when you hover over Snake Ball, the music blares so loud that it fucking breaks your speakers. It's just every other game, it's just like la 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 la. And then Snake Ball comes on, it's like ba 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 ba. It's like full on destroys your speakers. It's so loud. What's Jesse doing?
I'm clapping with my microphone off. Thanks to the 5 gifted subs once again.
Oh, yes, BT Maverick 707. Yes, another 5 gifted subs. Thank you, Maverick. So, yes, so if Masaid is still watching Snake Ball, man, oh my God, I don't know if he remembers that or not, but holy shit, Snake Ball was full on. Okay, Scott the Oz, Super Chat, Nick. Will Xbox have the damn break in 2025? We were talking about that earlier, man, when we were discussing Xbox games. Like, there's a lot in 2025. Xbox has a crazy... I mean, even just the stuff we know.
The stuff we know, yeah.
There's a lot.
And all of those seem pretty solid to, like, make it in 2025 as well. There's been... I don't know which game it is, so I hate, like, doing this, but, like, I heard that one of the Outer Worlds got pushed into 2025 to replace something that was going to get announced for 2025 and actually slipped to 2026.
Jez intimated it was stated to K3.
Okay, well there you go.
It's
so
also
that sounds right to me.
They're so full as well because I do think they are finally in that thing where Booty and Phil were like, "Hey, let's spread where we can. We can't spread out third party, but we can control our own. And I'm imagining everyone's constantly trying to ask Rockstar when the fuck GTA is coming out to avoid that. But yeah, they can.
It's going to be a 2026 game, man.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, most likely.
It's going to be
March 2026. That's when that comes out. Yeah.
There is no way GTA 6 is going to be a 2025 game. I don't give a fuck what they say. That game ain't. I wouldn't be surprised if it's fall 2026.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Would
for
not
real.
Be surprised.
I just give them a chance to try to make the fiscal, right? But we'll see.
Rockstar and Naughty Dog almost always delay. I'm very curious.
Like every game gets
do
delayed,
they ever break it?
Especially Rockstar.
Will they finally break that and actually get it out on time? Probably not.
Yeah, but like Take Two is not going to rush Rockstar because they know that GTA 6 is going to sell for the next 15 years.
They've got
it's going to make them
this year. They have so much.
Yeah, it's going to make them billions and billions and billions of dollars. Like, they're not going to sit there rushing them. Like, they'll release it when they want to release it, whenever that is.
They've got Civ 7 very early in February. They've got Mafia, The Old Country in summer. Then if Borderlands is fall, like, they've already essentially kind of got their big shit for the year spread out because they've also got NBA.
2K.
Yeah. Probably another one of those awful tennis games. Hopefully this one actually plays well. I don't know how the hell that got.
Oh, God.
How did that get good?
Topspin.
Nick, how the hell did Topspin 2K25 not only get reviewed well by many people, but get nominated for Sports Game of the Year? It plays like shit.
I don't know.
Drives me crazy.
I was so disappointed in Topspin.
Yeah, it's not great.
I was so disappointed in Topspin. What else have we got here? I mean, this is I think this is older news, isn't it, Jesse, about Dead Space 4?
This one, yeah, it was. I mean, most of this stuff is in the last week because we did a headlines on Thursday, so it would all be after last Thursday. But this was Glenn Schofield talking about how he had pitched a new Dead Space to EA, and they're like,
Dead Space.
Nah.
That's devastating.
Yeah, I think that Dead Space game, the remake. I said all this. I think people got mad at me for this one. Jesse, do you remember why people were mad at me?
Yeah,
for this
you
one?
were talking with Lex, and I don't know. People get mad at everything because they're idiots. For the most part, it was just Dead Space remake didn't set the world on fire sales wise.
Oh yeah, this is the one where I said what happened, and then
Schreier
it got telephoned, and then Schreier corrected by saying exactly what I said.
Yes,
and I was like, wait, what's happening here?
Yeah.
I was like very confused. Basically, it was like the game they were considering Dead Space 2. A sequel to the remake, and they were going to start a new fork going in this direction. That was one of the possibilities. They were considering it. But basically in the first week of Dead Space's sales, they knew, well, we're not doing that. And so everything kind of just got put up, all that work. Dead Space 2 put up on the shelf? No, because it was just a consideration. But all of the considerations were put up on the shelf, and they weren't going to follow up Dead Space anymore. So they're not going to be like, well, then instead of doing that, let's go have Glenn Schofield make Dead Space 4 instead. Of course they're not going to do that.
He just knocked it out of the park with the Callisto Protocol.
Right, exactly.
Who doesn't love a 5-second long heal yourself animation, or just as long to change any gun, where you've got to lovingly pull it out and show off all those animations?
That sounds like heaven to me.
Jeff, I gave that game I think a 5.9, and I was being very generous.
Oh yeah, I hate when I score a game low and I come back later. I'm like, it should have been lower.
Yeah,
looking at you, Paper
it's
Mario,
very pretty.
Star.
Occasionally the story's okay, but it's just Dead Space Redux. Because wasn't the whole rumor they were trying to, this is future PUBG, but then the whole thing with friggin' PlayerUnknown fell apart.
Oh yeah.
It was going to be
in the PUBG universe.
And that was the most interesting thing about that game until they became cowards and pulled that out.
Well, and now friggin' PlayerUnknown's way into AI for his new game engine he's trying to make, and I don't know. It's whole relationship there was weird. But hey, PUBG saved Tango, so I'll take it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's right. Good old Collingwood. I don't know if you saw, Jeff, but Nate Drake said that he sort of not refuted, but sort of went against what you had said and said that everything scheduled to release in 2025 is 2025. So I think it was about how you said Outer Worlds 2.
It could technically be against it, but also he said everything announced.
Yeah.
And what Jeff was talking about didn't have to be announced.
Yeah, what I'm talking about was not announced for 2025. Yeah. Very specifically. Like, yes. So when I heard that, I'm like, yep, that sounds right to me. Yeah. I think all the stuff that is clearly 2025 by public knowledge is safe.
Okay.
And I don't think just safe. I think most of them will come out in 2025. I think last minute delays. I don't think there's going to be a ton of those. You know, no guarantees, but it seems like they're going to have a pretty solid 2025.
I really want to play Avowed. God damn. The fuck up next.
I think Avowed's going to surprise a lot of people.
It's Obsidian. That's what they do.
Yep.
Speaking of which, Chris, $5 super chat. Nick, is there hope for the Gears collection in the future? Yes. Gears collection is still coming.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
PlayStation.
Yeah, it's a PlayStation. I don't know how many times I have to apologize for revealing that way too early. I've said it so many times that I'm a broken record on it. I revealed it too early. I don't know. Hopefully it's 2025. I hope. But I don't know. All I do know is that it's still real. Yes. Yeah, Z Black Rider, I am. I'm gonna fly to the US and I'm gonna make sure they're fucking working on it, just so I can see it with my own eyes. Okay, now the next part. This is what I really wanted to talk about because we didn't delve into it that much, and now that I've got the right person on, we can talk about it properly. Nintendo took way too long to reveal the Switch 2, so leakers are doing it for them. We've seen just about everything of this console now. We've now seen the dock. We've seen the console itself. The dock was a more recent thing, so it looks like it's a much smaller, more rounded dock, which I don't mind. I like the idea of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've only looked at some of these things because, frankly, it's not that exciting. But like, does the screen sort of pop out over the dock now? So yeah, they could do stuff with that, right?
Yes. So some of the drawings and like hypotheticals and all that have like the screen. There's like half the screen is showing, so they're displaying the time and like the calendar and all that sort of stuff on it. Yeah, I could see Nintendo doing something like that. Maybe the Switch 2 could be another Alamo like that.
Well, I mean, there's just remember the blue light on the Wii when like they're like, oh, something's ready from the internet.
Yes,
just the whole screen blares blue, and you can never sleep again. That would rule.
Oh my God, could you imagine? So Nintendo finally has like a proper friend and messaging system, and then you get a message while it's in sleep mode, and that fucking screen's just like, message, just a laser beam. Message! Like it's just full on yells at you. And goes
clacks on, like,
it's a message. Come and check this message.
Perfect.
Now, what do you think this mystery C button is?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's, I don't think anything. My guess would be you press it, and while the menu brings up, the traditional, like, hey, we're going back to the home screen, I think this brings up a quick action thing that has the social stuff and like fun features akin to something like Street Pass, and then like quick options for controlling the game and the system. So it's all like right there, very, very easy to get to. That would be like my safe bet.
Community, and then like Mead VO, which is like their TikTok sharing gameplay app.
Right. I think it's going to be stuff. I think it's going to be like, right, press this button and you're going to get a quick access to a bunch of stuff like that. A suite of features that make the system feel a little bit more alive.
Okay. Interesting. I saw someone else speculate that it's like they think it might be C for cast. So
yeah,
you press that button and it casts
to the dock.
To the dock wirelessly and then through your TV.
It plays, so you can play Wind Waker now from the Wii U port.
I was like, that's an interesting. Because it's funny, like, so I've got very old posts on NeoGAF from like 2014 where they're discussing the successor to the Wii U, and I, to toot my own horn, correctly said that I think the only way forward for Nintendo to find success is for a hybrid console, something that's both portable and home console in one, blah, 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 blah. And at that time, I said, maybe they'll have a wireless HDMI signal sender that has like Wii U tech where you can just stream straight to the TV through this little thing. Now, that never happened with the Switch, but it would be interesting if it then goes and happens with the Switch too. I reckon that'd be great.
Yep, that'd be excellent.
And we could get Wii U games back again.
Yeah, I think that is a feature that they will probably implement in this thing. It feels like the kind of thing where they're probably ready to, because if you can only do it like when you're near the dock and can see the TV, it solves a lot of the problems that the Wii U had, where it's like, well, then when you want to take the gamepad away from the TV to maybe keep playing your game, well, you actually can't go that far. Well, now it's a Switch. It can do that. And then we can go back and be like, now you're near your TV and the wireless stuff will work. We know it'll work that close. I think that this is something that I would welcome.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then re-release Zombie U on it. Because, man, did you ever play Zombie U?
I played a little bit of it. I didn't play a ton of it, but I enjoyed what I played of it. I always liked any game where you're under duress when you're looking at the menu, and it's like you have to like look at the map and like actually like hold it down there in the on the Wii U gamepad. That's cool.
It's literally first person Resident Evil before Resident Evil 7 ever came out. It's literally Resident Evil. It's, oh my god, I loved Zombie U. Absolutely loved it. Hey, Gaz is in the chat. Jeff Grubb, if I beat your score in Neon White, will you unmute me?
Never. No. Are you on Blue Sky? Because I have not muted anyone on Blue Sky, and I just don't use Twitter. So, no, you have to beat my Mike Tyson's Punch Out time, and then I'll just follow you and only you.
What's your time? What's your time on Punch Out?
I'm like 103 in the world or something like that. I don't know, something like that.
Really?
I was like 70 something, and since that was like last year, and then since then a bunch of people have joined the hunt.
I didn't know you were a fellow Punch Out fanatic like me.
Oh, I love Punch Out, Super Punch Out, Punch Out for Wii.
You can't work with Dan Ryckert and not love Punch Out. It's not allowed. Yeah. They'll kill you.
Which is your favorite? I'm curious.
I think as I've become an older gentleman, I have begun to live a life of and instead of or, meaning I just like having them all, and I don't want to pick a favorite. I suppose if I could only have one, it would be Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Interesting.
They're all fantastic, though.
Ah, yes. I play Super Punch Out regularly.
Super Punch Out is incredible.
I'll just boot it up, just because I feel like it, and I'll just play it. It's oh my god, what I wouldn't give for a Punch Out Wii HD.
Yep, they should just release that. I mean,
oh my god.
I know that team is working on Luigi's Mansion 4 for the Switch too. But as soon as they're done with that, I guess I'm assuming. To be fair, it makes all the sense. They're going to make another Luigi's Mansion. That team made a boatload of money with that game.
So 3 did very well.
It did very well. It's like 15 million copies now.
It's already up on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit that Jeff Grubb has announced for sure it's coming.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty safe bet, but it is just a guess. But yeah, that game is sold better than just about any first-party Xbox or PlayStation game ever made. So yeah, they're going to make another one of those.
Wow. I like Luigi's Mansion 3.
Oh, so it's really good.
Visually, still one of the most stunning games you've ever seen in your life.
It's maybe the best studio on the planet for animation technology. Like, the animation in Punch-Out Wii, Luigi's Mansion 3, and Mario's...
That's next level, isn't it?
Mario Strikers
is next level?
It's next level, yeah.
And
Mario Strikers is just leagues beyond just about anything else happening.
I don't understand how we don't have Punch-Out Wii HD yet.
Yeah.
I don't get how that's
frustrating. Yeah, it should be.
That's just insane to me.
They actually do what they suggest in chat and make it Luigi's Mangione.
Yeah.
You just go around killing CEOs.
That sounds good.
Or you vacuum up their ghosts.
Sucking them up in the vacuum. Sucking them up in the vacuum.
I'll play that.
And then they ask you for help and you're like, denied. No. Sorry, mate. But yes, so the Switch 2, the rumor is we're getting our reveal in January. That's the rumor. For a March release. What do you
think
reckon?
It would be at
stick to a March
CES?
release?
What game is this now?
The Switch 2 itself.
No, this is the Switch 2 itself.
Switch 2, okay. Not at CES. A March release isn't. It's just not. Oh, I mean, I guess they said they would reveal it by March, and they never really. I guess in my head it was always like, and then it comes out next year. I just feel like if there was any chance the system would have, it was going to launch in this fiscal year, it would have been reflected in some way in Nintendo's earnings forecasts, and it just has not been. So in my mind, it's always been like April at the earliest, and I think April and May are still on the table. So, that's effectively.
Are there any Horizon games coming out that it could absolutely demolish? Because they like doing that.
Yeah, that's the real bellwether right there. Yes.
Yeah. Horizon Online multiplayer, surprise March release, bam, fucked.
Bam, Switch 2.
I think we get a video reveal of this thing here in like January. I think that sounds right.
Is it another rooftop party?
Oh, it'll be all rooftop parties only.
Thank God.
And then I think there's like a full reveal in like March or April, and then they launch that thing before summer. That sounds about right now.
Man, I wish it was sooner than that. I would have loved the March release, like the Switch got March 2017. That'd be great.
Yep, that was. I like that a lot.
We were talking about Switch 2 last Grubbsmas, and it was there where we talked about. It's funny in that episode. I said. I speculated at the time that I think the next Switch will launch with Mario Kart 9, and you said no, it's 10. They consider the iOS game, they consider the mobile game 9.
That's right.
But I said at the time, I reckon they'll launch with the new Mario Kart, and now those rumors are starting to float around that apparently the next Switch might be launching with Mario Kart.
Very little chance it doesn't launch with a new Mario Kart, mostly because it's been 150 years since the last one. Yep. So, yeah, of course they would have been making one, and they just been holding off for the Switch too. So, yeah, I mean, having Mario Kart 8 Deluxe early on the Switch was a massive success, a huge reason the system sold so well early on. And it's the game that just kept selling the entire time. So they know they need it. If it's not launch, it is in the first 6 months.
I am curious though. Like, I look at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and think, how much more can you improve on that?
Yeah, it's
no more blue shells.
Well, you need the blue shells to do something.
You have to have the blue shell.
Nope, you just get rid of one random thing, and then you bring it back later to make everyone happy.
I think you replace blue shell with a game with an item that puts the person in first and last, and keeps things shuffled. Yeah.
You look at this little game called Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform that a lot of us think is better. We might be wrong. Yeah. We might be, but we have our feelings. And you just take everything from there and you bring it in. And then you do the Apple and you act like you invented it all. And then people cheer.
I think that's not a bad plan, especially the part where it's like, and all of these Nintendo properties are now part of Mario Kart. I think that's the answer. Is
yes, it's
Smash
Nintendo
Brothers. It's Smash. Yeah. I think people would love that.
It would be. That's the only other way I think they could go. And then eventually they get and then the same way Smash. So remember, Smash had that meta where each new reveal of Smash was like an event in and of itself.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, we've already done that in Smash now. We already had those moments where we revealed Sonic and we revealed Banjo and Minecraft Steve, which fucking broke Twitter. And now it's like, okay, well, now we'll have that with Mario Kart. It's like, okay, so who's in Mario Kart now? Shit, there's Sonic. He's in his own racing game, and now he's in ours. And now we've got this character. And that's probably where they'll go, isn't it?
Yep, I think so. They know how successful the Smash announcements were. Now, it's not for the sicko fighting game community, but it'll still work.
And you can bring in just as many random ooh-woo sword fighting RPG guys, and people will still love it.
Yeah. Exactly. They're just all racing on swords.
You have Snake in there, and he's just racing. You can choose either he races on Otacon or on Meryl. You know, either one. Yep. You can have old Snake on the boss. You know, you can go crazy with it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it. For the news.
The There was a surprising amount for a Grubbsmas. Normally, Grubbsmas is just shooting the shit. There was actual news this week. Stupid.
Oh, and there's stuff that we've kind of skipped over that's like whatever.
Yeah. I had to fill out headlines more than anything, so don't feel obligated.
Yeah. So I guess with that, which game show have we got today, Jesse?
Why, of course, it's a name a game. I have put the buzzing code in chat, in the private chat.
Yeah, we got buzzing from Jeff.
Yep.
Jeff is who put us onto buzzing.
I introduced you to online banking and buzzing.live.
That rollback netcode has screwed over Nick many times. It's been glorious. He has sucked this year, Jeff. I hope you do it once again. I'm
destroyed.
Gonna hit that button. Here we go.
Go.
Before we can get
name a game,
though, we just got a grand benefactor super chat. That takes precedence.
Oh yeah, we got it just now. Grand benefactor assassin. How would Sakurai and Nintendo even expand beyond Smash Ultimate? Banjo, Sora, Sephiroth, they already gave some of the biggest characters. How would they make a better Smash game than Ultimate? They'll probably just port Ultimate. Well, it's backwards compatible. They don't need to port it.
Yeah. I mean, Ultimate is going to be the Smash game for the foreseeable future, for sure. And they will just repackage it with the DLC.
Yes.
And it'll be Ultimate. They might even Ultimate Definitive, where there's even some changes that go a little bit deeper than just including the DLC. I bet that's what they do. Ultimate Deluxe is definitely something that they will probably repackage and sell to you, and it has, maybe support for an upscaled 4K or something like that.
Smash becomes Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for a while as Mario Kart gets its new game.
Yeah, and maybe for an entire generation. Maybe there's a new Smash, a real new Smash by the end of the Switch 2, but even that seems unlikely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what we didn't talk about, the logo. Allegedly, that is the name, Switch 2.
Yeah, of course.
Consumers are dumb, so you can't make it too hard for them, or else you will run into the Wii U thing where they just think it's the same. It's a new version of that product, not something actually new.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Name a game.
This week's category, in honor of our lovely guest, Mr. Jeff Grubb, is, of course, games that are on Giant Bomb 2024 Game of the Year lists.
Yay.
So I pulled from Jeff. I pulled from other people on the site. There's a lot this year. None from us.
Still more to come.
Yeah. We are doing our Game of the Year in mid-January to give everyone a bit of time.
Yep. And of course, we play for a couple of our patrons. Today, I am playing for AMD Boomer, and Jeff is playing for Matthew.
Sorry, Matthew. I'm terrible.
Sorry, mate. I haven't won in 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have bad brain.
Ah, okay.
So is Nick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, lately.
I gotta play the music.
Oh, yes. Gotta play the music.
We risk it for the biscuit. I know that, they're getting all about their music shit lately with their app. Everyone's favorite app. All right. Games on the Giant Bomb 2024 Game of the Year lists. Because there are a lot of those lists. Number uno. I'm going to put it in private chat, so keep an eye there because it is incredibly long, which is the theme for this week. Enjoy. No. Oh my God. Don't laugh at me too much. Number one. Enveloped hyphen fourth letter hyphen blonde Tekken lady space needing drugs and the wonderful gentleman murder.
Oh my God.
This is
Jesus.
6 words on many 2024 Game of the Year lists. So if there's no space, it's one word. So the hyphens are all one word. Enveloped fourth letter blonde Tekken lady. One word. Needing drugs. One word. And the wonderful gentleman murder. That last one is one word. So there's 6 total words. 2 of them are and the.
First big massive thing is enveloped fourth letter D. Blonde Tekken lady.
Oh
shit.
Nick.
Indiana Jones. In Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Correct.
Jeez.
Enveloped is in. Fourth letter D.
In.
Blonde
D.
Tekken lady Anna.
Yeah.
Needing
Anna.
drugs or
Jeez.
Jonesin. And the wonderful, great gentleman murder. Sir Kill. Yes, I cheated.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done
My
all of these
smoking hot
games
wife just
100
brought me a
times.
coffee.
So I have to think of really stupid ways to do them.
That's incredible.
Thank you. It's my only talent in life. All right.
Okay.
The next one is
Yep.
not nearly as long. Pussy Journey 3.
What's it called?
Pussy Journey 3. Grubb.
Is it like Cat Adventure 3? I can't.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
You're
I
close.
can't remember what the second word is. Oh yeah, Cat. Okay. Yeah.
Nick, for the steal, you got one guess.
Cat something. Cat Adventure 3. Cat.
Nope. Cat Quest
Trying to
3.
think of words for journey. Oh,
Yeah, Cat Quest 3. Yep. Yep.
I've
I just
never
couldn't
even
remember.
heard of
I
that
You
couldn't
were
remember
very
Quest.
close. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. The next thing is only one word, though it's a lot more words in your chat right now. Boston for absolutely not. One word. It's probably more for Jeff, as he knows the Boston accent. Absolutely not. One word. Released this year. Grubb.
Neva.
Correct. Never, dude.
Yeah, never.
It's never gonna fucking happen.
Never.
Man. Okay.
Yeah, my hometown
Never.
accent's pretty sure is something. I don't have it on purpose because I think it sounds dumb.
Worked hard for that.
Worked hard for that, dude.
Like that.
Park the car.
That is a Park the car in Harvard Yard is a
Harvard
Maine
Yard.
accent. People always say Boston. It's
Oh,
not.
wow.
Yeah, that's southeast coast of Maine. Park the car in Harvard Yard. Why don't you? You fucking douche. All right. Next one with Nope, I didn't give Nick the point before. There we go. Tied at 1.
No, isn't Jeff 2?
Is he? No, he didn't get
Oh.
Cat Quest. You got Indiana
Nope.
Jones. No one got Cat Quest. He got Never.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
The next one is The Ascendance of the Resplendent Totem. Jeff, I knew you'd get this one.
The Rise of the Golden Idol.
What a fucking game.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Haven't played it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I was like trying to remember games that came out this year, and for every single one of these, I'm like, is this the Rise of the Golden Idol? So as soon as I saw Ascendance, I'm like, oh, there it is.
God, that game's good. Not for Nick.
Yes, it is.
You would not like it. It's all hard puzzles. Really, legitimately brain-busting puzzles. All
And I
right, with a
would not.
chance to win. Because first, the 3. We have... Ooh, did I actually put it in the thing? I did. All right. Crazed men who don't know their fathers. 2 words.
Oh. God damn it. What's the first word?
Oh.
Starting the timer. You got 10 seconds.
Shit.
8,
Oh.
7, 6,
Oh, no. That's not the
5,
game.
4, 3. Dan Ryckert loved it.
No,
2,
no, that's not the game.
1. Grubb.
Wild Bastards?
Correct.
Oh, it is wild. I was going to... You know what game I had in my head? I had Void Bastards in my head for some reason.
Yeah,
And I'm like, wait,
it's
Void?
the follow-up to
It's not
it's the
Void.
follow-up
That
to
was their
Void
previous
Bastards. Yeah.
Oh, man, I should have buzzed because I'm like, it's not Void Bastards.
just-
Craze is not Void.
Yeah, it's not your year, Nick. Once again, you lose terribly. My God.
You're welcome, Matthew.
Just reach out
See,
to me.
I've just
We'll
lost-
do the rest for funsies. We'll do them quick so people don't get mad and jump away. Going back to long ass names, we've got singer who changed their name. I put Chase. Nick.
Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown.
Correct.
Ah, good
It's supposed
job.
to be changed. I don't know why I wrote Chase.
Yeah, I was like,
but whatever.
Chase.
Yep. I saw that after I put it up. I was like,
As
oh,
soon
God
as I
damn
saw a
it.
singer who changed their name to a symbol, I'm like, that's Prince. I'm old enough to know that's
Oh,
Prince.
The tap cat, the love symbol, of course, is what it was.
The artist formerly
Yeah.
known as.
Being alive. All right, the next one is
Man.
Tiny pussy, big metropolis.
Little kitty, big city.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
God, I have too many fucking buttons in here. Jesus Christ. I need to streamline. It's tough, though, because I got to put them in chat or else Nick cries.
Well, you're going to need all those keys on your keyboard.
Yeah, and my own Stream Deck. All right, next one. Similar to a wyvern, never-ending capital.
Oh. Similar to a... Oh.
Nick.
Shit. Like a dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Shit like a dragon is not it.
No. Like a dragon. What the hell's this fucking subtitle?
Starting the timer.
Like infinite wealth.
Nah, Jeff helped you.
Yeah, infinite wealth.
Yeah, there you go.
See, Jeff's nice, unlike John or Nick, who never help each other on purpose.
What do you mean? I tried to give him a point before.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I'm more thinking of John. He's a little British guy. Tiny,
No, John's
always
a
angry.
fucking...
Yeah.
John is scum.
No, he's a friggin' cockney. You can't trust him. All right, the next one's one word. Italian for buffoon. Grubb.
Ballatro.
Correct.
Oh my god, is that what Ballatro means?
Yeah, it's
and that's why it's actually Ballatro instead of Ballatro, because that's how they would pronounce it. I think it's actually...
I
what
had
they would call
no
a Joker.
idea.
Yeah. It's what they call the Joker. They don't call it Joker, they call it buffoon, because it was the buffoon of the court.
Interesting. I actually did not know that. Wow.
Wow.
I knew he was going to do Ballatro, but I was waiting for him to do it in a different way.
I've done it where it broke up all the words into like multiple things. It's really hard. All right, and the final one. Voyager. A sludge sprinter event. Voyages. Grubb.
You already got it.
Expeditions, a mud runner game.
Correct. What a game.
Yay.
Crazy that was this year.
Yep.
You go back through your list and you're like, what the fuck? That was this year? How?
Yes, it was.
But there we go. That is name a game where, once again, Nick got his ass spanked. It is so good. Thank you, Nick, for never winning anymore.
I know, I haven't won in like months. It's been so long. I don't understand.
I got swept in one of our games this entire calendar year where we the Metacritic guessing game, where each quarter we get all the big games that are going to come out and we guess what the Metacritic's going to be. But we're both like pretty good and we're always pretty close. But like Mike just barely beat me in each quarter, so I lost the entirety of 2024. It was rough.
That's like Nick has lost, what, 80-90% of the games this year? It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I haven't won in months and months. It's been ages. I don't know why.
It's, we're just cursed with our beauty. That's what we'll just have to have that.
Yes.
Well, Nick's going to do well next week because we have our annual Friends trivia contest, and he normally does pretty well in that.
I bet he does.
Yeah, I've beat John pretty much every time in that one.
Yeah.
But yes, I have this at least, so that's fine. Hey, Tom Henderson's in the chat. Thought I heard whiskey.
We met Tom at we met him at Gamescom. We know what he looks like. If any PR companies want to pay us so that we can tell you who he is, so you can go after him.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh,
Jeff,
yeah.
You think you'd ever go to Gamescom?
Yeah, one day. I would have gone. I was going to go this year. I know.
Yes, Jeff nearly
he went on our dime too. With Giant, I think Giant Bomb
did he?
for him to go. Yeah, I think so.
Really?
I think that's right.
Hey,
yeah.
I saw Jan and Dan, but I didn't want to bother him.
I saw Dan. I met Dan Ryckert for the first time.
Yeah.
I saw him, and again, I'm very good with faces, but not with names. And I went up to him in the PR media area, and I was like, "Are you Dan Ryckert?" He's like, "Yeah." He's just looking at me weird because he has no fucking idea who I am. I was like, "Oh, my name's Nick. I'm from XboxEra. I'm friends with Jeff and Mike." That's how I introduced
And then he looked
myself.
at your tag, which said pre-drag on it. He's probably very confused.
But I caught up with Mike outside the front of Mickey Mouse Rebrushed or whatever it is. Epic Mickey Rebrushed.
Epic Mickey, yeah.
We met out the front of Epic Mickey. Mike and I. It was good.
Good deal. Yeah, I was going to go this year, but it just didn't work out because I think my wife was traveling at the same time, so couldn't both leave.
Yeah, we want to go again. We will see. It is very expensive.
Yes. Yep.
We'll meet one day, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We'll make it
happen. And I will not leave you alone at all.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I need the help.
So be prepared.
Oh, I'm ready for it.
As I mentioned at the start of the show, everything we do is obviously made possible by our wonderful patrons, despite their disdain for me, even though John is the one that doesn't like them. They all got upset at me because I booted John off the show, but that's okay. That's how much I care about Jeff, that I will boot John off. But our patrons do everything to support us, especially our grand benefactors, executive producers, and our CEO, Torn Raptor. And of course, the main benefit, the most important benefit of being a patron is that you get to ask us community questions that we will answer on the show, and we will get to those right now. Where do you want me to start, Jesse?
If you want to literally just go down the showrunner where I put all of them, that would probably be easiest.
Ah, okay. Okay, fine. First question is from Hytham G. A statement and maybe a bit of a question. So, did you gents have a good Christmas and got your presents? But I also want to wish you all an early Happy New Year to you all, and let's hope for some positivity of gaming in 2025. P.S. Do you gents believe in New Year's resolution? Because I don't. It's all nothing but BS, and I'm also a Grinch of New Year's too. So yeah, that. So yeah, did you all have a good Christmas?
Yeah, Steph got me a Raspberry Pi 5 that I'm gonna tinker with. I'll probably
really
turn it into like a little emulator device because I'm dumb and sick. And
I've still got a 4.
Yeah, I got a 4 as well. That I'm gonna turn that into a Pi hole, so we stop getting ads in this home across the board. That's gonna be fun. So I got like projects mostly, and then mostly just like a bunch of little things. Kids got me some fun stuff, but mostly I just wanted to like take some time off from work, which we're getting because we did all that Game of the Year stuff when we were in LA. So I'm just kind of taking time to myself and playing SimCity on the Trim UI brick that I got for myself, and that's been really great. So yeah, it's been nice.
Don't worry, Hytham, I didn't forget your super chat, mate. We'll add it to when we talk. There's another community question. I got. Hey, look at that.
Cool. That's cool.
Oh my god, yeah. So that's my. So I've got the Control blender bottle, which is for what I use for the show to drink my Control, which I've already drunk for today. By the way, buy Control. It's very nice. So this brand of blender bottle, I wanted one for the gym, so I asked for an Iron Man blender bottle, and that's what I use at the gym for my amino acids that I take during my gym workout. I got some socks. I bought this to wear to our Christmas parties.
Very good.
Hey. Bluey's great. What did you get, Jesse? Anything?
Main thing I got is a really nice backpack because we're going to be traveling a lot this year. I didn't have anything great for bringing a bunch of tech. So I got a backpack that is focused on giving you spaces for like actually carrying things that I'm going to need when I work.
Yeah, it's a must-have.
Oh, very good.
And
So
my wife got me a bunch of
we all
chocolate
had a good
because she
Christmas.
wants me to have diabetes. It's very good.
Oh, yeah. And John got the flu for Christmas, so everyone won. Okay. 99 Rukin. How was everyone's Christmas? Mine was great. I really don't have any questions, and I just thought of it last minute. What's up with the free stuff from EA on Xbox? I'm not complaining, just curious why they're doing it. You guys know why? Also, why hasn't EA remastered Bad Company 1 and 2 and made Titanfall 3? Oh my god. Yes, so EA has been doing like a 12 days of Christmas type
they did
of thing.
10 days
where they,
from the 16th through the
10.
15th through the 25th. So it ended on Christmas Day, essentially.
What kind of stuff was it? I didn't pay attention
it was
to this at all.
Star Wars, Battlefront 2 Celebration
Like
Edition.
just completely free, or like if you're a subscriber?
So it was, if you have Game Pass Ultimate, it was listed as free on the store to own forever. Like you don't have to stay.
Yes.
So it was that game,
Plants
Titanfall 2,
vs. Zombies.
Yeah, Titanfall 2 Ultimate Edition, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2, which is probably the best one.
Yep.
Then a bunch of different like random DLC, like for Skate 3
DLCs
and
stuff.
Yeah, there was just a bunch of stuff. And when you're giving that away to every Game Pass Ultimate console member, it was many millions of people. So that's why it was older stuff, I imagine.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
was neat.
It's stuff that goes on sale like all the time. Like I bought Titanfall 2 Ultimate Edition for like $6 years ago. Like, so they were giving away stuff like that. Why haven't they made Titanfall 3? Unfortunately, because Apex Legends exists.
Yep, they were going to make it, right? It was going to be Titanfall Legends inside of Apex Legends, and it was going to be 3 in a lot of ways, and not exactly 3. It was definitely going to be as close to 3 as we were ever going to get. And then they just looked at numbers and like the amount of money it would take to do this versus our expectations for the future of Apex Legends, those things don't match up. We're not going to do it. And then for Bad Company 1 and 2, the way I heard it, and this is years ago now, so the story could be different now. There could be more to it. But the way I heard it was they were going to like do Bad Company 1 and 2 remasters in one way or another. And then when Vince Zampella was gaining more power, he was like, actually, can you please put that back in the box? We're going to put that in a break glass in case of emergency. And we'll come back and do that in a much bigger way when we're ready and when we need it, which could, at this point, could be right now. I don't know. But I think they were like, we'll do a small little remaster of those games. And I think Vince was like, no, if we're going to do that, we're going to do much bigger remasters of Bad Company 1 and 2. So we're not going to do that yet. But who knows?
Yeah, part of the EA giveaway was the deluxe stuff for 2042.
2042.
Yeah, which is it's like $30. It's not cheap. So that was one of the
I think the
nicer
first game they gave away was Battlefield 1 Deluxe.
Yeah, Battlefield 1 Revolution, which is like the everything Battlefield 1. It's still a really good game.
Yeah.
It's no Battlefield 5. Still their best shooting mechanics, but what can I say?
Like, I know they'll probably never do Titanfall 3, but at least give us a Titanfall Deluxe Edition, which gives us Titanfall 2's campaign with Titanfall 1's multiplayer.
Yeah.
Just
make Titanfall 3.
I know, but oh god, I fucking love Titanfall.
And I was great at Titanfall 2's multiplayer, so I'm happy to just play that. I was really good at it.
Dan Ryckert just did his last night. Did his top 100 games of the first quarter of this century. I'm gonna see where he put. Let's see where he put Titanfall.
A list made to annoy you, aka Dan Ryckert.
I think his list is pretty okay over. I guess bad. You know what?
Way too much Metal Gear at the top.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4 at number 4 is laughable.
Metal Gear Solid 4 is number 4.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid.
It's Dan Ryckert. The rest of the top 10 is like Astrobot and Nintendo games, and Command & Conquer Red Alert 2 out of nowhere. That's insane.
Astrobot's in there.
Yeah. I mean, he loves Astrobot. Yep.
I mean, I love Astrobot, but not
too.
Top 10 games of the fucking first quarter of the century.
Yeah, I mean, it's in my top.
Tell
100.
me, Super Mario Odyssey is there.
Super Mario Odyssey it's definitely on here. Let's see.
I'm pretty sure
it's number 3.
Yeah,
number 3.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Fuck. Well, at least that's okay.
NBA Street Volume 2 is number 21. That's pretty good.
Ooh, I like that. NBA Street Volume 2, incredible.
What game was I looking for? Titanfall 2. I still don't see it. What the hell? No, I don't think it's going to be on here. Dan Ryckert is a fucking coward. All right, cool. Something to yell at him about.
Wow, but at least, I mean, Super Mario Odyssey at number 3 is good. What's his number 1?
The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Yep, definitely. Listen, I don't disagree with him. I think that's probably right. Mario Odyssey, I go back and forth between that and Mario Odyssey these days.
It is funny to me that Breath of the Wild got, like a 97, and then Tears of the Kingdom also got that, but people really always just go back to Breath of the Wild still. It's odd.
Yeah, I mean, Breath of the Wild was, a revolution. I mean, it really was.
I'd put Breath of the Wild above Tears myself.
I do too.
Personally.
Yeah.
If I hadn't played either of them ever, I do think Tears improves on a lot of things. It just never gripped me the same way. It almost felt too big. Whereas Breath of the Wild felt big, but I really enjoyed it. In Tears, I did eventually just go, I think I'm done.
It's too much. I haven't gone back. It's too much for me.
Yeah, I think for Breath of the Wild, the thing is, like, you go in that world and you realize I can go do anything, including go fight the final boss right now. Yeah. And then you just feel so free, and you go explore the world at your own pace and do what you want. And then you build in your own desires of how you want to explore the world, and that becomes the game. And that is so powerful, and so like they just nailed it so hard with that idea, that concept, that it felt magical. It felt like, this is what he was going for with The Legend of Zelda on the NES, and they finally actually realized it here. And that's it's mind blowing.
There's a restraint. That Breath has that Tears doesn't.
Yeah, and I'm glad Tears exists and doesn't have that same restraint. You can like, no, we're gonna just throw a bunch of stuff at you and let you go deeper in this world, and that's cool to have as well. But it just means that Breath is better.
Yeah, Breath is like, it's like that perfect blend of somewhere in somewhere between Tears and like Ocarina. It's like if you took Ocarina and took Tears and went,
yep,
and you got Breath, and it's like, oh my god, Breath is like this perfect thing. It's like so good. I love Breath. Breath I beat. I pretty much almost 100%ed Breath, but Tears I got like 30 hours. I put 30 hours into Tears, and I'm like, man, this is a lot.
30 hours after spending $1,000 on it.
I spent $1,000 on Tears of the Kingdom.
Yep.
I bought the console. I bought the limited edition. I bought all this merch off the Nintendo rewards. I bought fucking amiibos. I spent like nearly $1,000 on Tears of the Kingdom, just assuming that I'd adore it as much as Breath of the Wild. And then it turned out I didn't adore it as much as Breath of the Wild. But see, that's why I love Echoes. Because Echoes to me is like this dumbed down, simplified Babby's first Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So you're not sitting there making all this stuff and thinking, oh, how can I make a flying ship that will get up there and put this motor on this wing? And Tears Echoes is like, oh, you need to get up there? Just make a bunch of beds and just get up there. I'm like, fuck, okay. Oh, you need to get inside that thing? You know that fish you caught earlier that's a bomb? Just plant one of those fish
just
and
throw one of those
blow
fish
it up.
Bombs.
Oh, I have not used the Mike crystal bombs at all because I just had that fish bomb from the start.
Yeah, the fish bomb's great. I use that so often.
Just like, I just plant a fish bomb, get my wand out, and guide the bomb where I want it to go, and like that's it. I'm like, it's so good. I fucking love Echoes. It's such a good game. Okay. Next question, Jesse. From Hyphen G. God, we've got to find out who this person is. Jeff, how many Switch 2s are you buying at launch?
I'll probably just buy the one. But by the time we're done with the generation, I will have probably bought like 4 or 5 to be realistic.
How many Switches have you bought over, not necessarily that you still own, but just bought over the course of the generation?
I bought at least 3, but I think I've acquired through one way or another 5.
You're a lightweight.
Yeah, definitely.
You're
yes.
a lightweight.
I had like eight 3DSs or something like that. Yeah.
I bought the Super Mario Odyssey Switch, which was the one that came with the red Joy-Cons and a copy of Super Mario Odyssey. Oh yeah, like the stream since we saw that emoji pop up. I bought the Super Mario Odyssey Switch. I bought and still have the Splatoon 3 OLED, Zelda OLED, Fortnite Switch, the fucking gorgeous pastel Animal Crossing Switch.
And you want to know something funny, Nick? The Nintendo rep really likes me and has intimated, if there's ever hardware in the future, to give her a message.
Oh, if you don't fucking send me,
it is 100% mine.
Fuck off. If you don't send me, those Switches,
I'm not going to buy a Switch. It's the only chance I'd ever have, so I'm going to take it.
Whatever, man. Yes, I think actually maybe mine is 5 as well. It's either 5 or 6 Switches I've had.
And Jeff's obviously going to get a bunch sent to him. They love him at Nintendo.
I emailed Nintendo Australia. They were actually really nice in their reply to me, but they're like, oh, not right now.
Nintendo doesn't even know about us.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so I go to Nintendo US generally just for stuff like stream, and they are extremely nice. Everyone I've ever dealt with everyone I've dealt with is very nice, except for PlayStation PR, who have only replied to me once, and they sounded very mad, which is weird because it was like such a benign thing I was asking. But everyone else has been good.
Can't wait for Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Fuck.
It's a good game.
What a game. JD. It's not a secret that a lot of people in the media prefer PlayStation, and their view on Xbox is less than favorable. But as we enter a new year and we're starting to see Xbox is getting on that cadence of games, do you think regular people are going to really start questioning them when they make disingenuous comments or even questionable takes about Xbox going forward?
Yeah, Jeff. The fuck?
I know.
You son of a bitch.
I mean, I wouldn't even wipe my ass with an Xbox. Come on.
That's right. Yeah, Jeff. You drive all this narrative, Jeff.
I will say it's very funny to see how, like, over the years where it's like I had a bunch of Xbox rumors, and so a lot of people assumed I was an Xbox fanboy, and I would get invited on all kinds of different Xbox shows. And I think, like, slowly people realize it's like, oh, no, you just Like it doesn't really seem to have a favorite other than Nintendo. I have a Nintendo podcast, and it's like, and all that just like went away. People stopped asking me on the shows, which I'm not complaining about. I'm busy. I don't need to be on any more
those
podcasts.
Shows have gotten so much worse. I would say
Jeff
avoid
at least
them.
twice a year. We get Jeff.
Yeah.
Yes, you guys get Jeff. Yeah, I've also. When a lot of those shows started getting weird about all the Gamergate 2.0 stuff.
Why the fuck are you so woke, Jeff?
Yes, right, exactly. It was like very happy not to answer any of those emails anymore. But yeah, I look, the reality is that Xbox is in a state of flux overall, at like constantly internally. I mean, we hear about them having arguments internally all the time about what's the right thing to do with their games and exclusivity and the future of the consoles and all this stuff. They don't know. So when the fans act like, well, why aren't you taking this new initiative that they're doing seriously or something? It's like, well, because we can tell that Xbox is unsure of these things themselves, and so we'll talk about them in those terms, and then people get mad for talking about them on those terms. We're trying to talk about reality here, and the reality is Xbox is still figuring a lot of things out, and a lot of fans don't want to hear that, and that's not going to change because they're a long way away. They being Xbox, from having a solid footing in the world they want to be in, and the future of what they want the Xbox brand to be. They have an idea, but it's a long way away. And that the idea, I think, currently is, as far as anyone can tell, is let's have Xbox stores on all platforms, including one day PlayStation and Nintendo. And boy, doesn't that feel like hey, I get why they want that, but boy, that feels like a very long way away. So in the meantime, like what is Xbox and what are they delivering? Well, hey, when they deliver a good game, people are going to call it out. Everyone's been really nice about Indiana Jones, right? No one's been like weird about that, at least. No, as far as I could tell, I bet you could probably find a few who are like down on it or whatever.
But see, the caveat there is the reason everyone is cool with Indiana Jones is because it's a multiplayer.
Yeah, it's going to go to PlayStation. You're right, exactly right. It's all there's always like something, right?
It's a multiplayer.
Yeah, it's always something. So are all the games now. So maybe it will change.
It's been one of the things. The biggest, some of the biggest issues with the platform is just the simple fact that so many people that have tried to make YouTube careers talking about it are really focused on the topics that they keep saying everyone else is focused on. So the discussion is never about games. Like,
what's wrong with the audio?
Indiana Jones, choppy sound. Weird.
Yeah, people are saying choppy, but now they're saying that.
Yeah, no idea.
Jesse voices. Is my audio still messed up? I can leave and come back. You guys sound fine
for me. It's probably OBS. I don't know.
Okay,
but yeah. If you are choppy, that would be weird because you sound fine for us.
Yeah, that is very odd.
People say it's fine.
Jeff is good. Okay, it was probably just a YouTube thing in that moment.
YouTube or OBS, who the hell knows? It's nice that it's a much shorter wait to hear people and what they say in chat. It used to be 20 seconds, so they'd be yelling at us and we were like, we already fixed it. But all of these shows really focus on this, and so then fans focus on it. So good games don't change the narrative because nobody ever wants to talk about good games. They just want to complain about lists and warring because it is so much better engagement on average when you don't actually know how any of the no one knows how this industry works. They're all just trying to guess from their living rooms, and the easiest thing you can do is just go back to your basic A versus B dumb bullshit and say, hey, look, this person's saying the bad stuff. Let's all yell at them. Hurrah. And it just,
then, makes a lot of money on Twitter and YouTube, so they're going to keep doing it.
You get $20 a month on Twitter if you get like 100 million views. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good. That's the money right there.
I will openly admit that I think there are a couple of bad actors in the industry, though.
Yeah,
I think that's... I have no... My thing has always been... I have zero problem with people having a preference. Everyone has a preference, whether they want to admit it or not. Everyone has a preference. I have zero problem with that. My issue is when that starts to creep into whatever it is they're doing. Like, I know people well enough to know when I hear disingenuity or sort of sly snark or whatever the case may be. That's my only problem. I would rather people just call it as they see it or just openly admit, yeah, I prefer this and this isn't doing it for me. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's always frustrating when you can tell. and people don't just admit it. But it's also, I think Xbox could solve a lot of these things by putting out games that people can't ignore. And then, obviously there's always going to continue to be the problem of the way people talk about these things on social media and YouTube, and then wanting to get the most engagement. But we could just have to ignore those people, and then the bad actors they'll silence themselves if the games are something that they can't poo-poo. But if you keep putting out games that have a lot of caveats or are mediocre in a lot of ways, then that's just going to give them more fuel. So I think it's on Xbox to keep putting out games like Indiana Jones.
There's been a difference, I think, where a lot of people are like, oh, they're turning into Sega. It's like, no, Sega wishes they could have made the money in a year that any of these companies make in a month. Like, the industry is so different now. Everyone is
that's not what they're talking about, though.
Oh, I know. But
when they say they're becoming Sega, that's not what they're talking about.
Oh, I know. But they also wouldn't... Sega was just... Their business was dead, and they got out of hardware. There is... The rumors for Xbox are they're only getting more into hardware, just in a very different way. Yeah. The actual health... Yeah. It's about growth with all the companies. It's not about, viability or sustainability. They're all making a ton of money. They all just want to make more. Like, Sony makes an insane amount of money. They just want to actually keep more of it because they've had a problem doing that.
Yeah, and it's I think that the difference between what happened with Sega then and what's happening to not just Xbox, but to a similar not to the similar degree, but a similar way to PlayStation is Sega couldn't cut it in a business of trying to sell hardware, and so they cut it off because that would save them money. And I think that Microsoft and Sony are looking at it as we can make more money if we stopped being so precious about our hardware. And they're both having that realization at the same time. Now Xbox is having it in a much more desperate and immediate way, but I think both companies are coming to the same conclusion at the same time. So people could say Microsoft's becoming Sega, and if that's how they feel about it, then that's true for them. But it's just a very different situation.
And Nintendo is always the unicorn. There's only one Nintendo. So
yeah, I mean, if Microsoft or Sony had Pokemon, things would be a lot different. But they don't have Pokemon.
Or even having a Minecraft or something, they have big IP. It's just there's always something different.
Minecraft's on everything, right? Yeah, Pokemon you can only get if you get a Nintendo handheld, right? And it's always been that way, and people accept it and are okay with it being that way. You can't go put Minecraft in a box and say you can only get this on the Microsoft handheld going forward. And also, we put out a new one every 3 years, and then there's a new like remake every 3 years on an offsetting schedule. There's always going to be a new Pokemon game every year,
running terribly.
And also Pokemon's like just naturally, it tends to just bring in new generations while keeping its older audience satisfied at the same time. Yeah, if you had a Pokemon, it'd be different, but these companies don't have Pokemon, so they just can't really rely on hardware indefinitely the way Nintendo definitely can.
After the show, you need to give me your Pokemon TCG friend code.
Sure. Yeah, I barely play it, but I will do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was never a trading card game guy that much, so yeah.
I have logged on every day since it came out.
I mean, it's
every day.
I can tell it's very popular, and I have a lot of friends who do the same.
I have almost the full set of both cards, both expansions. I'm just I'm waiting for trading to come so that I can just fill all the gaps in my card collection. Oh my god, I've played the shit. I just assumed you would have been playing it too.
Yep. Really.
There's a super chat while we're here. God Emperor Sofa King, who's also a member. The problem with that, Jeff, is that currently Sony has been in the crapper when it comes to first party. Meanwhile, Xbox is now delivering. I mean,
Sony just made more money than ever in their last quarter anyways. First party for them is more additive than I think it is for the other two.
And I think we're just not recognizing still the length of time it's taking to develop games now. And it's they're in their valley, but that means when we get on the other side of this and we get over and we get a glimpse of what's on the other side of the hill, there's going to be 5 to 7 massive PlayStation first party games that we don't know about. They just barely cracked it with Intergalactic. There's going to be a lot more where that came from. And 2 years, people are going to be like, remember when we weren't getting anything from PlayStation? And they're going to feel pretty silly because there's going to be a ton of stuff coming from them pretty soon.
Yes, they're very much in a dry spot right now. But where they've been fortunate is they've planned out, I guess almost calling back to the PS2 days. So even though they had basically zero first party, although they ended up with Astrobot, because they had so many third party exclusives, it's like they flew by under the radar with people not realizing they had no first party because they still had those exclusives.
Yeah.
Which they marketed like first party games.
Right. And to a lot of people, what's the difference? And even like not
I was just about to say, Jesse says it all the time.
Right.
To regular people, they don't know the fucking difference. It's a PlayStation exclusive, whether it's first party or not. Who cares?
If it's not exclusive, Hogwarts is a PlayStation game to 90% of people.
My God, NBA 2K is a PlayStation game to 90% of people.
And that's massive.
When I'm at the gym, the guy that runs my gym has TVs everywhere, and he's always got the ESPN running on one of the TVs, and I'm constantly seeing PlayStation ads for NBA 2K.
Yep.
While the NBA is on ESPN. It's just they've done it like a PlayStation ad. So they've got 2K, and then right at the end you get your little PlayStation thing at the end.
Yep.
Every time. Is what it is.
And as we all know, Metaphor Refantasia was only an Xbox game, as people were very worried about online.
Yeah. That game was horribly unsuccessful thanks to Xbox marketing. Hytham, I did end up forgetting your super chat earlier when we were talking about Switch 2, so I apologize. What if the Switch 1 games become, let's say, free upgrade from Switch 1 to Switch 2 games, aside from backwards compatibility? Your gents' honest take on that? Yeah, it's funny. Nintendo is frustrating like that because they have the ability to recognize that shit on your account. So in the earliest days of NSO, they allowed you to link your Nintendo Network ID to your NSO account, which is now gone. The Nintendo Network ID is gone. It was somewhat frustrating that they did not look at your Nintendo Network ID and say, oh, this guy owns Mario Kart 8 digitally, he owns Super Smash Brothers digitally, he owns all this stuff digitally. It would have been nice if they did a discount program like they did with the Virtual Console, where it acknowledged that you had bought this game on the previous console. Here you go, here's 50% off on the new console when you rebuy it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would have been nice if they did that, because let's be real, the first 2 years of the Switch was just fucking Wii U ports. It was like almost nothing but Wii U games resold to us. Yeah. Outside of Odyssey and whatever.
I think that they we don't really know how they're going to approach this. I think that there is a chance that they take the path of let's give people the feeling that they're getting something special by getting the Switch 2, and all the games they already own will feel not just like, oh, we support them, but they're better. But I think the big question there is we just don't know what kind of work it's going to require to get those things operating on the Switch 2 that way. Backwards compatibility by all accounts, and a lot of this is assumptions based on the hardware and what people know about the hardware difference between Switch 1 and Switch 2 did require a lot of effort behind the scenes, probably from NVIDIA working with Nintendo to get that supported as best as possible. And who knows what they baked into that? Maybe as part of the feature set of making sure that Switch 1 games work on Switch 2, there is just a lot of automatic upgrades. There's the potential for that to be there, especially because NVIDIA is used to doing that sort of thing. But we don't know. If it requires developers to go back in and make tweaks to their games, which is a very high likelihood, there's just not much chance that they would do this. I think it would be great, though, Hytham.
Okay, next question, Jesse. You ready? Jesse, brother. Happy podcast 243, mon ami. And by that, I mean Jeff, who isn't actually my friend, as we haven't met, but he is my brother's friend, and Nick seems to love the guy, platonically, maybe. And well done, Mr. Baker. You not only kept John away and made my brother the voice of God once again, but in doing so, you pissed off your CEO, Torn Raptor, who said he has no interest in your two-man podcast and won't even watch it later. Congrats on getting Jeff all to yourself. I hope it was worth it.
Oh, it always is.
It sure was.
I will say, Torn Raptor had intimated he was going to gift a ton of subs today, but he hasn't been on. You scared him away, Nick. Not that Nick would ever see any of that money.
Mate, no one could ever question my dedication to Jeff, could they?
No.
I even alienated our whole community for him. That's loyalty. That is loyalty.
That's the good stuff.
I mean, I also could just put my face on whenever I wanted. I just have not.
Yeah.
I said to you, if you want to be on, be on. I said that to you. I could either take it or leave it if you want to be on camera. You're muted.
Oh, I thought I unmuted myself. I already have the gameplay set up for everything down there anyway, so it's fine.
Quick recommendation that works for Christmas and even New Year's. The Holdovers, which is currently comes free with an Amazon Plus subscription. It's supposed to be a good film, that one. I haven't seen it yet.
I've been meaning to watch that for
fantastic.
a while. I thought I watched that tonight.
Oh, yeah. Do you like Paul Giamatti? Do you like good movies?
Yeah.
And do you like really surprising young actors? The Holdovers is phenomenal. Like
is it Christmas?
It takes place over Christmas break at a private boys high school college thing in Massachusetts in the
I'm gonna watch
70s.
That sounds great.
It's awesome. I love that movie.
And as someone who was so nervous when I heard Jeff was on a train that got derailed last week and was so relieved to hear you were fine, my question is for you, Mr. Grubb, how the hell did that happen? Well, we got the story. We obviously got the story much earlier in the podcast.
Honestly, I don't know how it happened. We don't really know. I guess I should go look it up. There was a lot of news stories locally about it happening.
Was it?
But I don't think they knew the exact cause when I was looking. So I'll look into that and maybe have more to say. But yeah, I mean, it was just very, very weird when it was happening.
Nintendo probably dumped all those leftover Nintendo 64 minis that never got released. They just left them on the track there.
Yeah.
That and the Surface minis.
They got sick of me asking to get out of Nintendo jail. And they're like, let's just kill this guy.
Yeah. And Microsoft left all the fucking Project Keystones there.
Yeah.
Like,
actually, it was probably Electronic Arts. They're like, this guy always leaking shit, and just like everything else, they messed it up.
He survived.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, Julia. What game are you most looking forward to next year, and or what game do you hope to be surprised by next year? I like this question.
Metroid Prime 4, it would be fun
Is
to
that
play.
Next year?
Oh, it's definitely next year. Yes, that's definitely true.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I think they've confirmed that publicly. Yeah. But I mean, yes, what do I want to be surprised by? I guess by definition, I don't know. It would be a surprise.
Imagine if Grand Theft Auto 6 came out next year.
Yeah,
that's a surprise.
I would be surprised by that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Then yes, now that I'm somehow only just discovering that Metroid Prime 4 is next year, then Metroid Prime 4 is my most anticipated.
I mean, they had a long ass gameplay thing for it, so I wouldn't be shocked.
God, it looked amazing though.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it looked like Halo 4 was so good.
Halo 4 was trying to look like Metroid, to be fair.
Well, one of the guys who worked on Metroid Prime worked on Halo 4.
That's right.
And now I think he's made his way back to retro. If
sounds right.
Memory serves.
Yeah, there's actually multiple guys that worked on Halo 4 that are working on Metroid Prime 4.
Yes, but hey, I remember at the time saying Halo 4 looks like Metroid Prime.
Me too.
And now it's we've come full circle, but oh my God. Yeah, I mean, I've said this 1,000 times. Halo 4 visually, the way it holds up is fucking ridiculous. And a lot of it is because of that. That it's like whoever this person is, it's like he learned the art of, hey, let's keep our visual style simple, but still, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like Metroid Prime Remastered and how ridiculous that looks on that hardware. It's just insane. What do I hope to be surprised by? As in, I guess the way I'm interpreting that question is a game I'm not necessarily looking forward to, but hope it takes me by surprise and I end up really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
God, that's a tough one. I don't know. What do I hope to be surprised by? Actually, you know what I hope my surprise is? The fucking Gears collection comes out next year. That's my fucking surprise.
There you go.
To free me from this hell that I am in of my own making. This hell of my own making. I need to be free from it. Oh my God. Where's Gears collection, Nick? It's coming. Just fucking relax. I'll read that super chat. Oh my god, that's a massive super chat. I'll read that in a sec, Assassin. Next question. Omen. Merry Grubsmas. So one of my relatives is starting to get old enough to start playing video games, and I was going to give him a Game Pass, a Fire Stick, and a controller for Christmas. I was very excited because Game Pass actually does have a lot of child-friendly games now. When I did a test run, even with parental controls enabled to limit only E-rated games, the Cloud app on the Fire Stick still shows games that my nephew is restricted from playing. It's just not a good experience if he goes to click on a game to play and 3/4 of them say he's restricted. If you contrast this with the Windows Xbox app, it only shows games he's eligible to play. Given this big push Microsoft has had for cloud gaming lately, you'd think they'd want to have it ready to go for kids for Christmas. So sadly, I had to abandon all hope on giving my nephew a cheap entry point into gaming and instead gift him my old Nintendo Switch and pay way too much money for a bunch of games for him. So my question is this. How do you think the platforms, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, PC, compare when it comes to parental controls? Do you even use parental controls for your kids? I wish I didn't have to learn the hard way with Xbox Cloud Gaming. Happy holidays and Happy New Year.
Be a man and let the 4-year-old play Hellblade. It's not going to hurt him. Come on.
Maybe learn a thing.
Do you use them, Jeff?
I use parental controls on, I think maybe on the Switch a little bit. They don't really do much on the PlayStation, Xbox by themselves. They ask for help still for me to set that up, so I'm usually around.
Oh, okay.
I do on Steam because I let them. One of them have the old Steam Deck, and so I have some games that are classified as pornography. They're porno games on Steam.
Yeah. There's a couple of them on there. I was shocked that the fact that 70% of the store is porno games.
Yeah, and I have eliminated those from the library because I do the family sharing library, and they can't see those. So things like that. And then they have like the Amazon Fire tablet, and I've got that set up so I can kind of control the environment there. Yeah, so I do some parental control things. Xbox not great at that in general. I think on the console it's much better. But man, Cloud feels like such an afterthought for them in so many ways.
It does, doesn't it? Which is odd.
Yeah.
Omen, as someone who is fully into his parental controls, so there's a weird sort of juxtaposition here. So PlayStation's parental stuff is garbage, but what PlayStation does implement is what you are after right now. So my son can't even see the games that are... So for example, I bought my son a month of PlayStation Plus. He's got a 9-year-old account. His account is for a 9-year-old. The PlayStation Plus games that are out of his age range don't even show for him to attach. He can only attach the ones that are within his age range, but he can't see the others. So PlayStation does what you're after from that perspective. Having said that, the PlayStation parental controls aren't the best. Like it doesn't work fully properly. That's where Xbox shines. The actual parental controls themselves, like when you're using them in the family settings app or the Xbox family settings, the parental controls are brilliant. Like my son wants to play a game. It says, hey, you got to ask your dad. And he'll literally push the button, ask parent. And I can just go in and go, yep, approve, not approve, whatever. And I can approve for a day, approve forever. It's great. I can just transfer money into his account. If he wants to buy, say, V-Bucks, I can just go, yep, add $10 to his account. And goes bang, and then he can go and buy V-Bucks. So the actual control over his account and my daughter's is incredible. The stuff you're talking about with Cloud, I haven't jumped into Cloud with his account.
Cloud hasn't changed much, and it really felt like they pulled back big time during the ABK trial because they knew Cloud was going to be where they were struggle, and so they played dead and everything's bad and we can barely do it and we don't make any money on it.
You don't give a kid the Cloud experience because like waiting 5 minutes for the game to boot up because some server is busy is miserable. It's there are better cloud gaming services than Xbox.
It turns out a lot of those are because quite often it's too busy. It's that they're copying the game from one server blade to another,
right? Yeah,
which is the main thing they're trying to friggin' fix right now because they're going to be adding more and more and adding in all that expensive ass SSD onto every server blade is not cheap. It takes a long time.
Yeah, expensive. Yeah, but it's miserable right now. I really don't like using it.
The only time my son has used Xbox Cloud Gaming is the Samsung app, and he's played Fortnite.
The best way to use it. They get all the
features. That is the best Xbox. I don't know what. Like, it's so strange to me.
What it is, it's completely unlocked on bitrate. It can go up to like 40K bitrate. Like it's got higher resolution, better bitrate. It's got all the best features unlocked.
But don't you think it's weird that there's different Xbox Cloud experiences with all the different methods? Isn't half the idea is that it should be uniform across the board?
Eventually, yes, but it's still called beta because, it is it's too expensive. Like, it's not ready to be a thing that 20 million people can all use at once right now. Like, it's super goddamn expensive whenever they're trying to get all that set up. So having a deal with Samsung where they probably got a little bit of money to get these things set up, like all of it, that's the only reason it ever ends up happening. Is like, oh, someone will pay for it right now. That's not the customer.
That is by far the best way to play Xbox Cloud on a Samsung TV. If you do it on a Samsung TV, it's incredible. It's actually legitimately good.
There's a GitHub repo that will let you unlock all those settings on any browser, including like on a Steam Deck and stuff. It's pretty damn good.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. Because playing it on a browser on my Mac, when I've tried it on a browser on my Mac, it fucking sucks.
Well, the main thing with any cloud service is how close are you to that server. So it's like and are there bad hops in between you and the server? Like, it can be different for the person 2 streets down from you, even though you're both connecting to the same server. You end up going through one different thing. It's always going to be rough in random ways.
Okay. Trust me, Jeff, if you've got a Samsung TV, try the Xbox app. It's actually like legit good.
Okay. Yeah, I bet it's good. I remember it being Samsung's Xbox stuff.
But only on Samsung's TV app. Like everywhere else, cloud is like spotty as fuck. But on the Samsung app, it's legit good.
Yeah, it is the thing. If you, even on your Steam Deck or something, like if you've got that better xCloud GitHub repo and you load that in and have that go through an Edge browser, it is legitimately way better.
Okay.
Annoyingly.
Give that a shot.
Yeah.
Okay. Because remote play, PlayStation, which I know you need a PS5 for, but PlayStation's remote play has always been flawless for me. No matter how I access it, whether it's my Mac browser, my phone, tablet, there's even now a Chromecast app, an official PlayStation Chromecast app for remote play now. But that's remote play. That's not cloud streaming.
Yeah, but I was struggling to get remote play working the other day. A wired connection to my PC upstairs. I guess I was using the Chiaki for the Chiaki 4 deck, the latest one for that, because I didn't want to use a PlayStation controller. What do you use?
I thought you had to use a PlayStation controller.
Well, that's why I wanted to use Chiaki 4 Deck, because you don't, because it's a open source and it works great on Steam Deck. On Steam Deck, it's flawless. It's like HDR works. It's so good on there that I was like, oh, I'll just use that. I'll get the PC version. Someone's made a PC fork of it for Windows, and I just couldn't get to not be choppy. It was very, very frustrating. Because I wanted to play Astrobot upstairs.
I just use the official apps and the DualSense.
All right, well, I should just do that.
I'm not a tinkerer. I'm just like, give me the simple thing and I'll use it.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
He uses Mac. You don't expect anything more out of him.
Yeah, I'm not smart enough.
I don't. You're right.
Okay, next question. Didact 3. Merry Grubsmas. Heyo peeps, I've heard that Gears E-Day was planned for 2025. How does that align with the Gears collection? Also, there is no way Forza Horizon 6 skips next year. Are they waiting on the GTA 6 release date like everyone else to determine that? Microsoft has a lot for next year. Surely a lot will be delayed. That's what I think. I think they have so much that some stuff they will just push themselves into 2026. Because there's almost, I know you can't have too many games, but there's almost too many games from Xbox for next year.
Yeah, I think
it's bonkers.
There was a time when Game Pass was everything to them, where it's like they didn't mind having a bottleneck because they're like, well, it's just more reason for people to get to the subscription, and then they'll just play one game and then the next game, and that's beneficial to us because they'll want to keep their subscription. And now that's changed, and they are looking more at trying to spread things out again. I don't know though. At a certain point, like when a game's done, this is not Nintendo. They're not going to sit on games for very long. So I think they'll get most of these out, and at the very least, most of them will be ready to go in 2025.
Well, yeah, I think, isn't that the rumor that Gears E-Day could be a surprise
Tom Warren has
2025
said it a
game?
few times that he had heard that Gears E-Day was 2025.
Yes, that when it was first going to get announced, I was told that it is going to get announced, and they might even put 2025 date on it. And then at the not the last minute, but leading up to the reveal, they're like, okay, well, we're not going to do that because we're going to give them some space, and there's a chance it could actually come out in 2026, and we want to have that wiggle room. But they've definitely thought about that game for 2025 for quite some time.
How does that align with Gears Collection? Yeah, I'm curious how that will work. Will they go from a chronological perspective and say, well, E-Day is the prequel to Gears 1 and 2 and 3, so we do the Gears Collection after E-Day? Or do they say, hey, as a primer for E-Day, here's the Gears Collection?
I mean, it makes sense to be a primer, I think.
Yeah?
I mean, I think, but maybe. I mean, who knows? I mean, all depends on when these games come out. And again, like if there's a traffic jam, maybe they want to spread things out.
Man, I just, the day that collection finally gets announced, it's going to be one of the happiest days of my life. You don't understand. It's my Metroid Prime remastered.
Yeah, you still have your hair though, so.
Yeah, well, I was about to say, I mean, and I shaved my head anyway, so
yeah,
that part doesn't bother me. With me, it has to be something else. Maybe for me, it's the beard.
There you go.
Ooh, I don't know.
No, you have to gain 100 pounds.
Yeah, there you go. Body transformation.
No fucking chance.
Oh no, you got to do that stupid mohawk that John has.
Oh God, no. Jesus, I'd rather just shave the beard. No thanks. Forza Horizon 6. I mean, maybe that's one of those mystery games that we don't know about for 2025.
They seem so all in on Fable, though. Like, Fable is a big
But they've got the two teams, though. They have a dedicated Forza Horizon team.
Yeah. When did Forza Horizon 5 come out?
2022. It was the Halo Infinite year, 21.
And they were on an every other year schedule for Forza Horizon, or to every 3 years?
It was like 3. I think it was 2019 for 4, and then 2022 for 5.
Yeah, so I could see them taking an extra year this time around.
Did I get a DM about Forza Horizon the other day?
Don't care. I'll mute you.
Hold on. Don't mute me. I just want to check. I think I did. I think I actually did. I just can't remember what it said. Mohammed Sharez has a relevant super chat. Where's Gears Collection, Nicholas Baker? Man, it's coming. I'm never, like I said, I keep asking. Don't worry. I'm just as impatient as all of you. I keep asking. I'm like, please tell me it hasn't been cancelled. They're like, no.
What do people need a Gears Collection for when the Castlevania Dominus Collection is available right now on a system near you?
That's exactly right. Who needs Gears? The funny thing is, when I first got told, my literal response to my guy was, why? They're backwards compatible and enhanced.
Mm-hmm.
2 and 3 are not on PC.
Why? Yeah, I know.
And 1's PC version is okay. Not great. The Ultimate Edition one. It's all right. They had to rip out the Games for Windows Live garbage.
Okay. 2 more questions left. Skedaddle. Happy Grubsmas. My question for you both is, going forward, do you think Xbox will continue to release smaller games like Battletoads that may not generate significant revenue but provide enjoyable content for Game Pass subscribers? Or in light of the Activision Blizzard King acquisition, do these types of smaller experiences no longer align with Xbox's goals for growth and profitability?
Have you heard of Towerborn coming to game preview in early 2025? I think they'll keep doing it where it makes sense.
Yeah, I think maybe not as much as we might have once imagined when we were talking earlier about Game Pass, and we're like, well, they could just make anything and it's fuel for Game Pass. That's never really, it hasn't come to fruition. It won't come to fruition, but I don't think that they are completely abandoning that. And at the same time, I think they recognize they need to be in a space where they can let their teams make a bunch of different things, because you never know what's going to really hit. You want to keep the creative juices flowing. You want to keep people like Josh Sawyer employed at Obsidian, right? And he comes to you and says, man, I can't make another one of these games if I don't care about what I'm making. Like, okay, go make your passion project. We are fine with that.
And somehow
Yes.
Pentiment does way better than Hi-Fi Rush did on other platforms and even Steam.
Well,
just
man,
kind of
Pentiment's
crazy, man.
Pentiment's kind of fucking perfect.
I gave it an 8.8. Nick yelled at me for giving it too high a score, and I was like, man, I was holding myself back. That game is amazing.
God, I haven't played it.
It's not for you. It's all reading.
Yeah, no.
It is.
I'm the guy that doesn't like reading in games, and I just love it.
It's so good. Some of those plot points, man. Oh my fucking god.
It's just, it nails what it's going for.
It's one of the main games. If I could forget it and then play it again for the first time, it's near the top of the list for that.
Yeah, but it's also a game that, like, once you know what's going on, and getting the chance to go back and seeing the layers of the metaphor and how it all folds into one another.
Are you a prick? Do you want this person to live or die? It's like, oh, it's so hard to be mean.
Yep, it's good game.
I struggle to be evil in games that give the choice. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you do it enough in real life. You don't want to do it in video games.
Yeah, maybe.
Right, exactly.
Maybe. I can't. Like, even in Infamous. I haven't done my bad run in Infamous on PS3 yet. Because every now and again I go back to that game to find my one missing lightning shard. One left. Fucking one. And then I need to start an evil run, which I don't know. I'll struggle to do that. Good old Collingwood. Last question. Happy Grubbmas.
Second to last question.
Maybe that was supposed to Grubb.
We got a super chat question.
Yes. Jeff, what are your most favorite stories that you've covered this year?
I think it's Festivus with Grubb.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Grubbsivus. It should be Grubbsivus. But yes, what are your favorite stories?
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I like coming in always talking about like why companies make decisions that they're making, and I did enjoy. I made a video a couple weeks back about what tariffs are going to look like, and specifically like what it'll mean for the Switch 2. But just using that as a point of illustration of how it's going to affect people across the board, and how it's like the unpredictability of the new administration in the United States, and how that's going to cause problems and headaches for a lot of companies. I like that sort of thing where I can be like, hey, this is, I have a little bit of a thing for economics. I enjoy reading about that. And so I can apply some of that knowledge that I've happened upon to gaming and help people understand what this is going to mean for them. So that's the kind of thing I really enjoy. And I'm going to try to do a lot more of that going forward.
Nice. That's good.
It's not like you're way too busy with work, though.
Yeah, no, Jesus. I know. I'm like... Yeah, like last night, I was like writing down ideas for more videos I want to make. I'm like, oh my, when am I going to make
Every
these?
time I think of doing something, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm already reviewing multiple things for 2025. Like it will not stop. There is always so much to do.
I'm so busy with reviews, Jesse. I'm flat. I've reviewed the Smurfs. I reviewed, what was that other game? Power Rangers.
You only had 1 day for that one too, which is not the norm. You normally have a full month and somehow still struggle.
Still doing it last minute. I had less than 24 hours for Power Rangers, and I reviewed it. And not only did I review it, Digital Eclipse ended up addressing almost everything I talked about in the game.
Really?
Oh, yeah, everything I critiqued in Power Rangers, they've addressed it in patches.
So now your review is worthless, which is one of the funniest things about reviews.
Yep.
People will go back to it and be like, it's not like that. And I'm like, yeah, it was at the time, you fucking numpty. Like, it was when I reviewed this 2.5 years ago, not now with all the patches, you dumb shit.
I have to admit, like, I'm not great at reviewing, but if there's one genre that I am like the fucking master of reviewing, it's scrolling beat 'em ups. I am the fucking master of reviewing those. But yeah, that's it. Everything else I'm worthless, but yeah. Okay. Super chat from Assassin. That's, I think, the end of the questions. $20 super chat. Thanks so much, Grand Benefactor Assassin. I forgot to ask a question in the forum, so this can wait until everyone's question is answered. Fellas, after Persona 3 Reload, I'm completely on board with more Persona. So I got to ask, what are the chances Persona 4 Remake is real? Is there a rumored remake of Persona 4?
I don't. I'm not a huge. I'm not a Persona guy at all, but I work with people who are, and I always ask them ask them this sort of thing when it comes up. And I'm trying to remember what they say. I think for Persona 4, I believe they say that's like that game is already in a state where they might not need a remake the way Persona 3 really benefited from it. But maybe that doesn't stop them. Maybe they still do it because Persona 3 Reload seemed to do.
We don't have that that cute Japanese girl that was on Twitter that used to leak all the Persona stuff. She's gone now.
Right. Exactly. So how would we know?
Golden's in a much better state than like Portable versus Golden. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, 4 was always
Persona
way
4
better.
Golden, I think, is already like what widely accepted as like, no, you can just play that now and it's still totally good to go. So I don't know if they're like gonna be rushing to remake that.
Reload there's a great game here, but it's really held back by the fact that it's really only the portable version they've ever brought forward. And the older version did have a lot of bad quality of life stuff, and they addressed all of it really smartly. So maybe someday they could have a reason to look at 4. Like we're in between our decade-long cycle of mainline games, so let's figure something out. But I'd imagine all in on 6. It'll have the green color. Maybe it'll have Xbox marketing. Probably not. But yeah, if they're doing anything like that, I would guess it's a ways off because they've been super fucking busy.
Yep.
Okay. One more quick super chat from Omen. Xbox full circle back to Xbox has no games. That's in quotations. Xbox has no games. Well,
I mean, listen, I'm kind of nostalgic for that.
Now.
That was a good time. I remember that.
Yeah, it was.
You can bring it back whenever. It doesn't have to be true. Like they keep,
exactly.
they have been putting things out forever. It was just not people's cups of tea.
Yep, definitely.
That's right. Only certain games count.
That's right. We always knew what people meant by that. It's like the biggest game of the year contenders is what people were talking about. And I for like in the middle of that, it was when I was like, man, I don't like most game of the year contenders. So I like just changed my thinking to like, I'm looking over indie games constantly and there's a ton of great stuff. And then Xbox put out Pentiment. And I like that better than just about anything.
I take Banishers and Ghosts of New Eden over half of the things that were nominated for most people this year. Like, there's a lot of great stuff if you are willing to look for what I hope the industry is going to do. And that's really stop focusing so much on graphics and instead focus on the gameplay experience.
It is a little bit funny though that really it feels like indie is the game that has broken that, and it is the one that is confirmed to be coming to PlayStation. Also
not eligible for Game of the Year.
Not eligible, yes, right.
And it has no chance of being remembered next year because there's 90 billion games coming out.
Yeah,
now it'll be a little helped by its spring launch on PlayStation, but even that's too early for it to stay super fresh.
But I mean, I think this spell that exclusives has had over the industry has been broken a little bit as well. That doesn't mean it's gone away. Doesn't mean that it doesn't matter. They clearly still matter. Obviously, they matter. But I think people are like coming around a little bit to being like, why do I care if it's exclusive? Other than if I only have this system, then I guess I care. But beyond that, why would I care?
Yeah, my kids and all of their friends don't give a shit. They just want to play
There's
stuff
more
together.
of those people every day.
Fucking Genshin. Goddamn game. Kid still wants to spend all his money on it.
I'm a self-confessed Astrobot stan, have been since Playroom. But Prince of Persia wasn't nominated for Game of the Year, and that was just an absolute crime.
And it's always going to be. I mean, for the Jeff Keighley Game of the Year thing, it's always going to be Metacritic times sales, and whatever has the bigger number. For those two, like when you multiply those two things against one another, whatever has the biggest like sort of end goal there, obviously Astrobot not the biggest seller, but it does help by it's like the biggest PlayStation exclusive, and it had the number one Metacritic score. What do you have time to play, and what are you going to play? What are your friends playing? Exactly. That's right.
It's so different from movies. I can spend a week and I can watch every big movie. Like if that's my job, I could do it.
Imagine
if
we had screener season for video games. That couldn't work.
Screener season for video games would start on January 1st, and then you literally just go through until your Game of the Year hits the following March. Like you have to. If it was truly about the awards and not about making everyone a bunch of money, it would be in February or March. But even then, it's still not the same as the Oscars or the Grammys.
Why do you keep saying Feb and March? Why not January?
Well, because the Oscars are in like
March, I think.
March, right?
They give people a lot of time to go through everything because big movies come out. Like
the Grammys are later in the year. All the bit award shows for other mediums are much, much, much later than the year, the calendar year.
Yeah, I say it, Nick, because it's literally how everything else does it.
Yeah.
Okay. Quick super chat. Mohammed Sherez. Indiana Jones won't win because the first person perspective causes motion sickness. Remember that?
Was that a thing? Was that a bit? What was that?
Yeah,
what was that?
There was a little thing that came up.
I do remember people wanting third person. Yeah.
So yes, when it was first revealed that it was first person, all of a sudden all these people were like, "Oh no, I get motion sickness from first person games. I wish this was third person." And it's like, yeah, okay.
That is like one of my toxic opinions is if people only play third-person games, I think they're weak.
Yeah, well.
That game would not work in third person the way they built it.
It's great as a first-person game.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And that's what Machine Games does. That's why I'm actually really curious with Blade, because that is literally their first third-person game that I can remember.
Yep.
Bethesda.
Arcane Leon.
Arcane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I admit, when I first heard Indiana Jones was first, even I had a little moment of, man, it would have been nice if it was third. But, I mean, I got over that quick smart, and now playing it, I'm like, this game would not work in third. Like, I don't think it would work.
The only parts that do are when it is actually third person.
Yep.
Yeah, and even that, I mean, I know you can click the left stick to make him climb faster and all that sort of stuff, but I'm not going to lie, I still wish the default speed for climbing and all that shit was just a bit faster.
Yeah, he's really just a man. He is not a superhero in any way.
No, it is
That's just a 40-year-old guy trying to climb up a rock.
Yeah, that's right. That's my only minor gripe with it, but yeah. I think, though, that brings us to the end of the show. That's the end of a show. Look at
Another
that,
Grubbsmas has come to an end.
Yes, under 3 hours. When was the last time we had a sub 3 hour show?
Proud of you boys. I got to get back to my life.
Oh my God, that's like one of the fastest shows we've ever had. So of course, I'd like to thank Jeff for continuing, despite his importance in the industry and how big he has become. He still makes time to appear on Grubbsmas every year.
I'm nobody.
Which is why I try and keep it to just me and Jeff to acknowledge the amazing thing he did for me 4 years ago.
I mean, I might have been on Game This Mornings like 7 times. Have you been on there, Nick?
I have not, but I was about to say
either.
to Jeff on air. I was about to say to Jeff off air, but now that you're being a smartass, Jesse, I'm going to say it on air. I've got 2 weeks off in January, Jeff. So I can
we can make it happen.
That's right. I will get up at 3 a.m. if I have to.
You know, it'd be way funnier. Have John on, please.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it'd be so funny.
It's 11 a.m. Eastern, Monday,
Holy
Wednesday,
shit.
Thursday, and
What time
Friday.
is that for me?
That
So
is
you tell me what
like
that time that is for you.
1 or 2 a.m.
That's okay. I've got 2 weeks off. I'll do.
There you go.
That's
okay,
fine.
just let me know what day works for you.
And we'll do Jeopardy as well. Again, Jeopardy was fun.
I'm sorry. Oh my God. I'm sorry.
What?
I'm watching this football game because it's like we're into this and they're in overtime and they keep going back and forth and they just doinked a field goal off the upright. And this game is a joke. I'm sorry. Keep going. That was very funny. It's the Bengals. It's Cincinnati and Denver. And a field goal would win it because it's overtime. And they both had a chance with the ball. And he kicked it and it just perfectly hit the upright. Oh my God. That's crazy.
So yes, thanks again to Jeff for jumping on the show. Thanks to Jesse for still willingly produce as the voice of God. Thanks of course to everyone in the chat or your super chats. Thanks again to the patrons. We will be back obviously in 2025, which is only a few days away.
We're back on Tuesday actually before 2025 ends for a end of year recap headlines, then a looking to 2025 headlines on Thursday the 2nd, but next Saturday is our 2025 predictions podcast where Nick will air quote as he says predictions every time.
Yeah. What have you got going on, Jeff, that the people can find you?
I don't know. Here's I'm off again next week from work. We're coming back on January 6th, of course, for the holiday. And between now and then, though, I will probably stream a little bit on twitch.tv/JeffGrubb because I have until 2025 begins. So we're talking about maybe tonight, tomorrow, the day after to catch up to Dan in the Astrobot speedrunning stuff. I've not done the last 3 stages. I'm going to try to do all of those in a couple of nights. And try to catch up and beat him before the end of the year so that I can. That's what we decided is going to be like who decides who won 2024. So I'll be streaming some of that on twitch.tv/JeffGrubb probably tonight and tomorrow.
I got the platinum the other week.
Yeah. That's like, it's like one of the, it might be my first and only platinum. I don't care. Oh, I don't give a shit about trophies and achievements. Really? I don't need someone to tell me how to have fun in a video game. Wow, I could do that myself. That's the whole idea of video games is their play. I don't need to be like, go do this thing to get a fun reward. Like,
Nick's
no, I'm not a nerd.
is so bad. He has to.
It's not as bad as it used to be. It's not as bad as it used to be.
It's not good.
and it's also why I'm glad Nintendo never caved to that shit.
Yeah,
I can just play Nintendo's games and enjoy them. It doesn't trigger my OCD in any way. I mean, look, I still have my old school OCD where it's like I'm playing a Zelda game. I want all the heart container pieces.
Right.
I want all the. I still have that OCD, but it's not the same as achievement OCD, if that makes sense.
You'd be fine on Steam because then you can just run a script and give yourself every achievement. Bam.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's just like I decide what I feel an achievement, like when I actually feel like I've achieved something, and that's going to be like having a high score on the leaderboard or something like that. And I will go crazy about that stuff. But that stuff I actually feel something. A game or a system coming to me and like, we've decided this would be an achievement. I'm like, no, I don't even want to hear it. Get out of my face.
That's why you love NES World Championship Edition on Switch, because it's all about the global.
Yeah. Well, it's only about the global leaderboard for 5 things to decide each week. Boy, I wish they had real leaderboards in that game.
Felt like such a slam dunk.
Yep.
Nintendo gonna Nintendo. Hey, you're right. Game adaptation newscast. Also, again, check out Thunder Ray. Very Punch Out like. K-Peace. Have you played Thunder Ray?
What is this?
So I reviewed it for XboxEra. So again, one of the good things that my For You tab does on Twitter, every now and again it shows me cool indie games. And there's a studio called Purple Tree Studio that made a Punch-Out, like a spiritual, homage to Punch-Out called Thunder Ray. Really cool little game. All hand-drawn animation Punch-Out game. It then got... So you're this guy, Thunder Ray, who fights like aliens, like your enemies are aliens, and then it got human DLC as well. But it's just it's a Punch-Out clone.
Okay.
Very, very, very good game.
Yeah, most Punch-Out clones suck. This one's all right.
Yes. Oh,
okay.
What did I give it, Jesse? I think I gave it an 8. I want to say 7.5 or 8. I gave it.
It's loading
it's
right
very,
now.
very cool.
You gave it a 7.5.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
I knew it was either 7.5 or 8. I can't remember which, but yes. I really enjoyed it, Thunder Ray. It's the closest we have got to a modern day Punch-Out that is still decent quality.
Yeah. It's always tough to recapture that sort of magic because I know how those games feel, and you're trying to make me feel that way again. You better get it right.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, this game's not... I'm not going to say, oh my God, it's just as good as Punch-Out.
No, I get it. Yeah. But getting close is respectful these days because it's hard to even get close.
And it's as close as we're getting right now without Nintendo doing one themselves.
Right. Man, they should do one themselves.
So yeah, if you have the time, it's not an expensive game. Give it a go. It's really, really good. Maybe I'll even see if they'll give you, if I can try and get you a code for it. If I tell them, hey, Jeff Grubb will play it and talk about it, maybe they'll give you a code.
Yeah. Holler at me with that.
But yeah, it's a cool little game. Thunder Ray, it's called.
Cool.
And with that, thanks again to everyone for popping by. Thanks again to Jeff. And we will see you all in the new year. Happy New Year, everyone. Ciao for now, and Merry Grubsmas.
Night of King of kings, laid us in lowly manger in all our trials, born to be a friend. He knows our need to our weaknesses, no stranger. Behold your king, before him lowly bend. Behold your king, before him lowly bend. Truly he taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we, let all within us praise his holy name. Christ